Call the Signet hotline on 0770 572 656.
Good morning. Mic 7, mic 4. We have different mics here. So mic is the number 7. I don't know what is my mic number. We usually have numbers.
Yes.
The only thing I know is that we don't have number 1. We have hashtag number 4.
Yeah.
Mwende, how many? Which number again? Number 3? Number 10? So they normally get it. But today is the 15th day of December 2025. Yes, I can feel the smell of marinated chicken pale, marinated goat meat huko. Marie pia anapika chapati kwa ile kona. Chapati kuna layers. Vivian naye ndio yeye amekuja na pilau kutoka Taita.
Biriani moja safi.
Mike amekuja na nini kwa meza?
Tumbukiza.
I'm not surprised.
Mike amekuja katumbukiza hapo na ile kibuyu. Mimi nani nimekuja na omena, na mbuta. Deadly.
Yes.
Yeah.
How are you doing, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, fellow Kenyans? Welcome to the program. This is how we start this day. Quite a chilly one, but hey, we are about just to light it up. Karibu sana to the show. My name is Victor Lo. Today, we are coming to the close of the year, gently so. But on a sad note, many people have so far died until last evening. The recent one is around 9 to 10 people, yet to get the number, but the number stands at 10. That happened around Chabera. Chabera is between Sondu heading to Oyugi. It's not so far away from home. And we highly condole with the people who lost their lives. The best we can do is to request each and every one of you, please, let's just be careful. That's all I can say. Let's just be careful. If you're a driver, just be careful. There's nothing much you can talk about that, all right? But we condole with the families of those who lost their loved ones in the accident. Okay, so we are here. The infrastructure fund is going to be launched officially today. The president said that his #1 ambition to turn around this country from a third world country to a first world nation starts today. And that is going to happen after a cabinet meeting that is going to approve the 5 trillion fund. Let's talk about that at exactly 7. My panel, Odoyo Widu is a political commentator, will be here. Dr. Evelyn Ogendo, political analyst, will be here as well. Shadra Kwamboi is an advocate of the High Court of Kenya, will be here. And finally, I'll also have, just a minute. I'm just getting confused. Vivian, what have you done? It's the morning.
It's a Monday morning. It's allowed.
I talked about fish and Mike ameharibu na tumbukiza. Hiyo supu inawezanga.
Mbaya sana.
All right, and Peter Njero, I beg your pardon. They'll be here. Let's talk about that and how the president is planning to achieve that. All right? We've heard in the past that it's facing a bit of some legal challenges. Let's interrogate that at exactly 7. The whole team is here. Let me just do my favor and welcome all of them, starting with Vivian.
Thank you, Victor. A very good morning to each and every one of you who's tuned in this beautiful, chilly Monday morning. It is always a pleasure to have you start your day right here with us. Now, Victor began with talking about, the foods that we usually eat during Christmas. And by the way, my conversation today on Family Check has a lot of things to do with that, around that. Not necessarily food, but the coming together of families.
Yes.
Because, I mean, the food is much yummier, if you ask me, when it is shared among people, not just while you are alone. And today we will be talking about family get-togethers, family gatherings. You remember when, okay, I don't know about you, but while growing up, during the holidays, we would always go visit my grandma. You know, just go up country, go there, meet with your other cousins, your aunties, your uncles, and it was such a beautiful time. I don't know if that is still the case now. So my conversation is around that. Is it still a tradition for us to go home during Christmas? And when I'm saying home, it doesn't need to be up country. It can be your home in Nairobi, but you're gathering as a family, not just as a nuclear family, but as an extended family at large. Are those family gatherings still existing? That will be our conversation today. And if they're not existing, maybe what changed along the way. I'll be joined by Nelly Mutai, who's a multimedia creative and actress. We'll also be having Pastor Paul Blessing, who's the director star with Paul, and Joshua Karanja, who's a mentor and trainer. You definitely want to stay tuned for that conversation, and I'll be waiting to get to hear from you and get to know how you're spending your holidays. Mike.
Good morning, Vivian. And those were good old days.
Oh, good old days. For
Christmas
sure.
used to be very interesting because you'll be meeting your cousins, your aunties, but more importantly, when you were growing up, new clothes. New clothes were the thing, but those were good old days, and we hope people out there are enjoying their festivities accordingly. And in that line, I have a quote by Maya Angelou that captures the whole spirit of Christmas. She said, "We clap hands and welcome the peace of Christmas. We beckon this good season to wait a while with us." We clap hands and welcome the peace of Christmas. We beckon this good season to wait a while with us. Basically, this is just a time to come together, a time of calm, goodwill, and reflection that we go for, that we usually long for, each and every one of us. So Christmas presents at that time. So enjoy responsibly, and the peace of Christmas always be with you. Good morning, Marie.
Good morning to you, Mike, and to all of you joining us here in Nairobi and across the country. While it's the Christmas season, you know, Mike, you said new clothes, and I just laughed because that was actually the epitome of Christmas when you were growing up. If they didn't buy you clothes, it wasn't Christmas. No. You know, our parents weren't even buying clothes during Easter.
Yes.
But Christmas
was there.
And you wear them on that day.
Yes.
Alone.
You know?
Yeah.
Na ni lazima upigwe picha.
Yes.
Lazima upigwe picha na lazima mle mapochopocho, eh? The chicken, the chapatis were for Christmas, really.
Yeah.
They were not like the everyday
Yes.
food. But today we buy our children clothes every day, so it's not really a big deal unless maybe it's something that is unique.
Times have changed.
Exactly. And the visiting, as Vivian has said, with the guests she'll be having, they'll be talking about that. That has also changed a big deal.
Yeah.
Because it's become more of a business. It's become very expensive traveling. Can you imagine a family of, let's say, like 6 going to Kisumu, Kakamega, wherever? How much it would cost, you know?
Yeah.
So definitely things have changed, but the spirit of Christmas still remains, this celebration. There is no celebration without food. You know, so even if you're gathering and there's no food, you don't really call it a celebration. But on top of that, I'm also cognizant of the fact that there are people who do not have, can I say, people to share with. So it's also a time to remember that friend, that neighbor who might not be able to take, a break and go home with their children. So if you have a way of inviting other people to be with you during these celebrations, it will be a good thing.
Yes.
Because you might not know it, but some people actually go through some mental stress during this period. Not just because they don't have family or a way to celebrate, but also the financial strain that it poses. So it's a good thing to just stay aware of other people who might not have that privilege. But thank you so much, as always, for making the time for us. This is Good Morning Kenya. We're bringing you up to speed with what is happening as far as the news is concerned. As Victor has said, a lot is happening in our roads and not good things, so you need to take care. So we start right there where 8 people, among them 2 minors under the age of 2, were killed in a tragic road accident at the Bwarani Tombe area, that is between Ekerenyo and Ikonge town along the KBC Kericho highway in Nyamira County. Now, the Saturday night crash involving a Nairobi-bound passenger shuttle and a trailer occurred at around 8 p.m., leaving families devastated and several others fighting for their lives in hospital. Nyamira Governor Amos Nyaribo says his administration has established a special committee to coordinate immediate assistance for the survivors and families of those who lost their loved ones.
These are the remains of the passenger shuttle that was ferrying travelers from Nairobi, now reduced to a mangled wreck after a deadly collision along the KBC Kericho road. Police say the accident occurred Saturday night at Bwarani Tombe area when a trailer veered off its lane and rammed into the oncoming matatu. 8 people were killed on the spot, among them 2 children under the age of 2.
Yesterday we received casualties from the accident that occurred at Ekerenyo. 8 lives were lost. 5 are currently admitted at our ICU. 2 are in our accident and emergency department. Our doctors really tried very hard to save lives. We really thank them for their effort. As a hospital, we have the capacity to manage the patients, but there are 2 who require neurosurgical intervention. We are referring them for further management.
The matatu driver also died instantly, while the trailer driver reportedly fled the scene and is now being sought by police. At the Nyamira County Referral Hospital, the pain is raw. Families gather in disbelief, struggling to come to terms with a sudden loss.
Nimepoteza msichana yangu anaitwa Purity Kimto. Alisafiri kwenda Nairobi kusalamia makazini zake. Alikuwa anateremka jana. Ilikuwa Jumamosi kuja kusalamia mama yake nyumbani. Alifika Kerenyo kupanda juu akapata accident.
Tuko na majosi kubwa sana. Na ile kitu nasema kama hii msimu wa Krismasi, tafadhali madriver mkuwe makini sana, mjue mnabeba maisha ya watu.
Ikona ni mbaya sana, ni mbaya kusema kweli kabisa. Hapa ni mbaya, imeshachukua watu. Serikali tu uone njia itasaidia hapa tinga ya rani boisa ndio waokoe maisha ya watu.
Meanwhile, bodies of the deceased have since been moved to the hospital mortuary as grieving relatives continue to gather. Nyamira Governor Amos Nyaribo visited the hospital Sunday morning to condole with the affected families and assess the condition of survivors.
I'll form a small committee which will be liaising with the affected families so that we see how we can work together.
As investigations into the cause of the crash continue, authorities say action will be taken to prevent further loss of life along the busy highway.
The question is, what action will be taken, to stop these deaths? It's a normal thing. It's been normalized. And if my director just allows me to engage my colleagues, Victor, Vivian, and Mike, it's become like it's normal. During, Christmas or festive season, we have these accidents. What's happening?
Mm-hmm. It's something, to me, it feels like it's some mystery that is yet to be solved, because it's become a norm, just as you mentioned. It's like we're normalizing it. You'll hear someone say, around this time we always have accidents. But do we really need to have these accidents? Because I feel like most of them are out of reckless driving, are out of drivers just speeding on the roads. And I feel it is time for us to get to that point where when you are inside a car that is being recklessly driven, just speak up. Yeah. Don't just be there like, just swaying and asking your neighbor, hey, huyu dereva anaendesha vibaya. No, speak up. Tell the driver as a whole. Just tell the driver, we are not in that much of a hurry.
Yes.
We would rather get there safely than not get there at all.
Yeah.
And even you ask yourself another question. Why is it that during the normal months of the year, we do not have this kind of a sense, what you'd call a sensitization that is going on in terms of using the road. But when it comes to the festive season, it's something that is happening. But then again, why is it that when it comes to December, accidents rise?
Yeah.
Why? That's the biggest question.
And Victor, you brought a very good point. You know, people are trying to cash in.
Exactly.
You know, during the December holidays, and so the transport, companies, are having their drivers, can I say, work overtime? Yeah.
Yeah. I think I'll give mine different categories. There's one traffic and travel, and vehicle factors. Let me just put it this way: if you're planning to travel by end of this week, take your car for a service. There's something called a 10-point check that everybody goes through in a driving school. 10-point check. Please make sure that your vehicle is checked. Check your brake pads, check if your lights are working, but most importantly, your braking system. Number 2, don't stress drive. Okay? If you're under duress, if you're under influence or something, please don't do that. There are some people who go to the village already with their baggage from Nairobi. So you are going to the village with a lot of pressure in your head. Just remember, vitu za Nairobi zibaki hapa. Pick them in January.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
then, lastly, I think in familiarity with the road. You find somebody bought a car 3 months ago. He or she has never gone to the village. Okay? So that is the first time they are driving to the village for the first time. We all know the reason why. You have a new car, you're going with your colleagues, maybe your friends, your relatives, and here you are, you really don't have the know-how, the capabilities. Basically, you don't know how to drive well for a long distance.
Yeah.
If you have somebody who can take you home, there is no danger to doing that. Okay? So basically, that's what I'm thinking. And traffic, everybody, there's so many vehicles on the road. But remember, there's one rule. You're the only somebody.
Yeah,
who is
you're the
somebody.
only
Cindy,
same person.
Yeah, the only same person. We all know that old
Yeah.
adage. So
And anytime when you're using the road, my mom taught me that since I was very young, that you're the only sane person, on the road. Whether you're a pedestrian,
whether you're a government driver,
yes,
or a VIP driver,
do not assume the other person.
And whether you rush or you don't rush, you will still reach your destination.
So that.
Yeah. And speaking up is not a bad thing. I remember one time when I was going, I was traveling, and somebody whispered and said, the driver is drunk. I mean, I had to stop the whole, the bus had stopped and we were about to take off, and I told the management that we're not leaving this place unless this driver is changed, So later on, a few things were confirmed and we were able. So speak up, and remember, those are people's lives. So as some people will be celebrating, others will be mourning, and it is not necessary. It's unnecessary, So money will always be there to be made. So, we just offer our condolences to the families who are grieving at this particular time. So away from that is that Kenya is on its way to becoming a first world country. That President William Ruto will convene a special cabinet meeting on Monday, that is today, December the 15th, to approve the National Infrastructure Fund as Kenya formally begins the transformation from a developing nation to a first world status. Now, the fund will be used to mobilize 5 trillion shillings to finance large-scale development projects across the country. President Ruto made the announcement at AIPCA Gatundu North Diocese in Karure, that is in Kiambu County, where he attended a Sunday service. During his visit to Kiambu County on Sunday, President William Ruto inspected the ongoing construction of the AIPCA Karure Cathedral of Grace and undertook to support its completion. The head of state noting the important role churches play in promoting social cohesion, moral values and community development.
Vile tumeona umoja katika kanisa la AIPCA, mimi nawaomba ndugu zangu watu wa Kiambu, viongozi wetu wa Kiambu, na wasihi na waomba tuwe na umoja vile vile.
Addressing congregants and local leaders, President Ruto said the process of Kenya's elevation to first world status is in motion.
Kesho ndio tunaanza rasmi ile safari niliwaambia ya kubadilisha hii Kenya itoke third world iende first world. Kesho tunapitisha hazina maalum ya National Infrastructure Fund ambaye tutatumia kuokota pesa shilingi trilioni 5 ya kubadilisha hii nchi. And we are not joking. My friends, hii nchi hii lazima ibadilike.
The head of state assured Kenya's transformation is progressing steadily across all 47 counties, with development initiatives being implemented to spur economic growth and create opportunities for Wananchi. The president added that in Kiambu County, the government has invested more than 4.5 billion shillings in the construction of 30 modern markets in under 3 years.
Hapa Kiambu tumeweka pesa 48 billion in Kiambu County. 40 billion ya affordable housing, 4.5 billion ya masoko yenu, and another 3.2 billion ya mambo ya hostels ya vijana wasomi wa hapa Kiambu County.
Later, President Ruto inspected construction progress at the 380 million shillings Kamwangi Modern Market in Gatundu North, Karure.
Si walisema masoko haiwezekani? Soko ndio hii ama si iko hapa? Si walisema affordable housing haiwezekani? Kiambu County leo tuko na manyumba tunajenga 17,000.
The facility is expected to be completed by March 2026 and will accommodate more than 1,500 traders. And gubernatorial succession politics took center stage at AIPCA Gatundu North in Kiambu County between area governor Kimani Wamatangi and Thika Town Member of Parliament Alice Nganga during the Sunday service attended by President William Ruto and other leaders from the region. Nganga once again made public her intention to unseat Wamatangi in 2027, even though the county boss maintained that he will be seeking a second term.
What started as an ordinary Sunday service at AIPCA Gatundu North Diocese in Karura, Kiambu County soon turned into a battle for the county's top seat. When called to address congregants, Thika Town lawmaker Alice Nganga used the opportunity to reiterate her interest in becoming governor of Kiambu County in 2027.
Sisi tuko na raha siku ya leo kwa sababu mimi hivi karibuni nitakuwa mdosi wa hapa Kiambu. Hapa wananiita mama. Mama Simba oe. Mama Simba oe. Mama Simba.
The statement received a loud endorsement from Gatundu North Member of Parliament Elijah Njoroge.
Ati Kiambu, kwa hivyo mnamaanisha yeye ni incoming governor. Basi wacha niwaitie outgoing governor Kimani Wamatangi, wachi governor kuja uongee na watu.
Governor Kimani Wamatangi was quick to reassure Kiambu residents of his unwavering commitment to service delivery, even as he seeks re-election.
Saa zingine unajua simba akitulia anaonekana kama ni paka vile walivyosema, Your Excellency. Lakini sisi tuko sawa, Your Excellency. Na hii kazi tutaendelea naye, Your Excellency. 2027 siasa itajipanga na tutakuwa humo na Kororia. Mimi ndio sitting governor wa county ya Kiambu. Mimi ndio governor to be wa Kiambu. Don't be in doubt in your mind. Wana Kiambu hoye! Wana Kiambu hoye! Wangapi wako na Wamatangi hoye! Tuone kwa mikono wenye wako na Wamatangi. Haya basi, kama uko na taswishi ujue governor ambaye yako na anakuja ni mgani.
Hiyo siasa ndogo haiwezi kusaidia sisi katika Wakenya. Na uchaguzi hauko hapa kesho. Sisi tunaelewa uchaguzi. Mimi Mheshimiwa Rais nimefanya 6. Na ningali akili yangu iko sawa. Mimi nataka niombe utusamehe kwa tabia hiyo unaona hapa. Kwa sababu sisi saa ingine hupenda siasa sana watu ya Kiambu, na kanisa mtusamehe.
The succession politics got the attention of the head of state, who rose to calm the political temperatures. President William Ruto urged Kiambu residents to vote wisely when the time comes.
Mjipange na uchaguzi wa UDA kwanza, alafu hiyo ingine kila mtu achaguliwe kulingana na ile kazi amefanya. Si ndio? Hakuna mtu atachaguliwa hivi hivi. Hakuna mtu atachaguliwa kwa sababu yeye ni hodari na matusi. Hakuna mtu atachaguliwa kwa sababu yeye anajua sana ati kupiganisha watu. Hapana. Tunataka tuunganishe wananchi wa taifa letu la Kenya.
Kimani Wamatangi will be seeking a second mandate, while Nganga, the Thika Town MP since 2013, will be out to make history as the first woman governor of Kiambu County. And as the countdown to the 2027 general election continues, it is up to the electorate to decide who their new county boss will be.
Away from politics, the National Authority for the Campaign Against Alcohol and Drug Abuse, NACADA, has confiscated suspected counterfeit alcoholic beverages valued at approximately 3 million shillings and arrested one suspect in Narok County. NACADA Deputy Director for Corporate Affairs Simon Mwangi and Narok Central Deputy County Commissioner Kenneth Mungombe said the operation, conducted jointly with security agencies, followed a tip-off from members of the public.
The multi-agency operation saw the National Authority for the Campaign Against Alcohol and Drug Abuse, NACADA, together with the armed security officers, raid residential houses and shops in Narok Central. NACADA Deputy Director for Corporate Affairs Simon Mwangi and Narok Central Deputy County Commissioner Kenneth Mwangome said they managed to recover more than 200 cartons of alcohol valued at 3 million shillings with counterfeit Kenya Revenue Authority excise stamps.
We have in our custody alcohol that is suspected to be counterfeit. We have already established that some of this alcohol contains very fake KRA stamps.
Mwangi warned that enforcement operations will be intensified during the festive season.
So we will upscale this festive season crackdowns. We are not relenting, and anybody who's dealing in this illegal business is going to face the full wrath of the law.
Tunashukuru wale wananchi ambao wameweza kutupatia habari kuweza kushika hii shehena hii pombe haramu.
He further advised members of the public to scan the KRA code using the Soma Label mobile application to verify the authenticity of an alcoholic drink before purchasing. The arrested suspect will be arraigned in court on Monday as investigations continue.
To some medical matters where it's a race against time as the family of one-year-old Curtis Otieno seek financial support to facilitate an urgent liver transplant in India. According to his mother, that is Leah Oricho Curtis, who was diagnosed with biliary atresia, a childhood disease affecting the liver and bile duct, needs at least 3 million shillings to undergo the life-saving procedure.
Curtis Otieno was born in Kayole, Nairobi County on Wednesday, November 27, 2024, to Charles Owino and Leah Oricho. The youngest of 4 siblings, his medical journey started when he was 3 weeks old after his mother, Leah, noticed he was gasping for breath. Baby Curtis was rushed to a nearby hospital where he was diagnosed with jaundice.
So on reaching the hospital, they did the first aid, then they realized that the boy was jaundiced. He had yellow eyes. So we were transferred to Mama Lucy Kibaki Hospital, where we were admitted in December last year. We were in hospital for 4 days. He was treated for jaundice.
However, even after he was discharged, his health kept deteriorating, and after a month he was taken back to Mama Lucy Hospital before being referred to Kenyatta Hospital. It was here that medical tests revealed that baby Curtis was suffering from biliary atresia.
And at Kenyatta is where he was diagnosed with biliary atresia, a condition that affects the gallbladder and the liver. So we stayed at Kenyatta for around 2 months. They did a surgery on him, a procedure called the Kasai procedure, but unfortunately it wasn't successful. So later on we were advised to opt for a liver transplant, which unfortunately was not available at Kenyatta. So we were told to make arrangements for his treatment in India.
The condition can only be cured through a liver transplant.
Yes, the doctor advised us that it should be done before 1 year, but we were not able to manage it. Even as at now, still not yet. We contacted a hospital in India called Fortis Hospital, Noida. So they gave us a quotation of 23,500 USD, which translates to Kenya shillings 3 million and some hundreds Jew.
Leah, a trained teacher, was forced to quit her job, leaving Charles as the only breadwinner.
To any well-wisher or anyone who might be touched by my story, kindly requesting to assist us in raising the money to take the boy for the life-saving treatment, because we were told that without the transplant, he might not live more than 2 years.
To help baby Curtis undergo the life-saving procedure, you can channel your contribution via M-Pesa to pay bill number 8024172. Account name is the sender's name.
Indeed, a little goes a long way. Whatever you can, do help the family get their baby to get the medical attention that he desperately needs. Now let's go to sports, where Kenya added another medal at the ongoing Africa Youth Games in Luanda, Angola, after junior golfer Belinda Wanjiru secured a silver medal in the girls category. Wanjiru posted a steady performance across the 3 rounds, carding 78 in the opening round before improving with scores of 76 and 77 to finish on a total of 231. The gold medal went to Zimbabwe's Miriam Masea, who dominated the field with 214 strokes, while Nigeria's Josephine Clement claimed the bronze. In the boys' golf competition, Kenya narrowly missed out on a podium finish after Sevi Soni placed 4th. Meanwhile, Kenya's beach volleyball teams, both men and women, also finished in 4th place, just outside the medal positions. With these results, Kenya's overall medal count at the Africa Games now stands at 11, comprising of 4 gold, 3 silver, and 4 bronze medals.
Has been good. The competition has been exciting, fun. I got to compete alongside a friend of mine from Zimbabwe, Miriam. She put on a very good fight, but I think I tried my best. The conditions are very different from the ones we have back home in Kenya.
Competition has been a great experience. I'm very grateful to everyone that made this happen. Finishing 4th is quite tough because just missed out on the medals, but at least this tournament I had lots of positives come out. I played 2 good rounds of golf.
Well, and that's where we bring our news to a close. Thank you so much for always taking your time and for your company and for always watching Good Morning Kenya. My name is Maria Mbo, and definitely coming up next is Eye on Politics. Victor Law is on standby. Stay with us if you can.
Why are you experimenting with people's health?
Sasa hizi mambo gani ule matope ananiweka?
Wewe mwenyewe ndo alisema kila mtu mahali huko akwe mbunifu.
Kwani hata leo umepika?
Sasa hii mbulu inaenda utajua kule utaipeleka. Na kama
Mugaka. Zindaona hata mezenji.
Be patient.
Ati niwe mungondo mugaka we.
Kasi yako nagua hapa ama nagua kule.
Wewe usijichoche Mungu amekabili rungu yako wewe. Ningekuwa nimekuzima kitambo sana. Hi Pip.
You're not my type.
Pandangase na shukanga. Wow, kasto umefika kumbe.
A gentleman afai kukula na koti.
Ni hapa tufanyangi hizo ni Kims.
Nenda mbele siagwa. Nenda mbele siagwa.
He really wanted was to get rid of us so that we won't find out about his relationship with Lucia. You're wrong. She destroyed my life. On the contrary, let me tell you that I saw Marcella first and not her.
Why are you so interested in knowing?
Because that darn woman abused the trust that we gave her when we had her in our house. And she's the one who killed the person that's very dear to all of us. A small apartment you have here, but, well, it really looks a bit cute. Ah! Why don't you take off your mask and tell me what you really want? Do you want to steal my husband from me?
Welcome back. Now it's time for us to get into politics. It's 5 minutes past 7 a.m. Good morning. My name is Victor if you're just joining us, and my guest already in studio. Let's talk about politics and what we really need to understand within the country and, of course, outside our borders. Being a Christmas month, and, of course, many people are traveling back home, governance has to continue. That is what is here. Let me take you through the front page of the local dailies. Very fast, before we get to the discussion, on the front page of the Standards is questions abound. Questions abound. That is on the front page of the Standard. Questions abound. This is about the late Cyrus Jirongo, who died over the weekend after a road accident in Karai, Naivasha County, in Naivasha, that is Nakuru County. And now it's just about shadows of doubt, where now from the unsettling calm of the bus driver, who explained a fatal crash as casually as the weather, to the early claims that Cyrus Jirongo drove straight into the nose of an oncoming bus. Doubts are now mounting over whether the former Lugari MP died in a simple accident. Friends say that Jirongo had, over time, expressed fears for his safety. Now they are demanding answers about what really happened on the road. In a country where high-profile deaths in road crashes often end in inconclusive investigations, they insist this case cannot be brushed aside as quote-unquote routine. And so former Vihiga Senator, that is George Haniri, asked why he was still out having fun yet. According to him and Kisia, were to have a very important meeting the following morning, only to be told or to be called that he got an accident in Naivasha. They just raised many questions with regards to that. On the front page of the Star newspaper, it's more or less the same thing, okay? But this is a different one. Hotel bookings up as bus firms increase fares. Of course, that was expected. Businesses struggle amidst reduced incomes. And of course, that story about Cyrus Jirongo also taking on the front page. All right. Cyrus Jirongo, police experts now table new theory on what happened. Of course, the wreckage of his vehicle that got into an accident. Still on the front page. Ruto now takes 2027 battle to Rigath's Mount Kenya doorstep. All right. And we've all known that two words in Migori County, Ochilo Bai, that is from his political nemesis, Ayako, now defends Migori record, dismisses Ochilo Bai narrative. Interesting times ahead. Okay, and finally on the front page of the Daily Nation, quite different, revealed identities of Kenyans in Russia war. Identities of Kenyans in Russia war. 2 weeks ago, the PS was here and said that the government is doing what is possible to make sure that those Kenyans are returned back home. Names of at least 82 Kenyans lured into fighting for Russia in the war with the Ukraine, some dead, others injured, and most desperate for help to flee the war zone can now be revealed. Their distress is captured in official correspondence between the Kenyan embassy in Moscow and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. The story about the scandal of neglect, death, SHA fraud now rock mission hospitals, okay? And Wino Odinga now says that ODM must go for the top seat in 2027. And finally, how Jirongo's NSSF scams collapsed post-bank credit. And finally, hurdles in senior schools admissions. That is what is now awaiting the schools reopening come next year. Let me introduce my guest already, Peter Njeru, next to me. He is a political analyst and a commentator as well. Peter, good morning.
Good morning.
Karibu sana. It's been a while.
It's been a while.
Karibu.
We are here.
And let's talk Shadrach.
Good morning.
Good to see you.
Good morning. Good morning.
Karibu sana.
Good to see you too. Thank you.
Asante.
Always a pleasure to be here.
Karibu. And next to him is Mwalimu Odoyo Wede, who is a political commentator and analyst as well, not new to Jerusalem.
Good
Karibu
morning,
sana.
my brother.
Karibu sana. And the only lady amongst the gentlemen, the last one.
Good morning. No, I came last. Why did you take the ladies first?
Oh, can I take the reverse?
You just took the reverse already.
Ladies from the last. Dr. Evelyn Ogen is a political analyst, also joining us on set. Thank you so much, gentlemen and lady, for being with us. Let me start with the front page of the Daily Nation, the Standard, and of course, the Star newspaper. Whichever you pick. Let me start with you, Peter. Questions about Kenyans in Russia, hotel bookings, and of course, there's that aspect of fares, and now questions about Jirongo. Go ahead, pick any.
Let's look at the Kenyan in Russia.
Okay.
The Kenyans in Russia.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the Daily Nation. Go ahead.
The names of the 82 Kenyans that incidentally found themselves at the forefront of the battlefield has been revealed. It is important for Kenyans to know that having these brothers of ours in the battlefield was not part of what the government had decided for them, but a private human resource recruitment organization recruited them for Russia for other assignments. But when they got into Moscow, they realized they were being chauffeured towards the battlefield, and incidentally, and so sadly so, they found themselves at the front line. Out of these, we have lost a number of them.
Yeah.
And those are still in the battlefield. We are trusting they are safe, and probably there needs to be a clear way to evacuate them back home, because all of them, none of them has any military training, and having them at the forefront in a war, in a battle, kind of overexposes them, and does not achieve the objective for which they went out to look for greener pastures. And therefore, this is something that is of great interest, and we should see our country in the forefront trying to support them to come back home, to those that are willing. And of course, I would want to believe that all of them are putting their personal safety first, because it was not in their interest to go and fight. Yeah, so that's what I would take from that. Those are brothers who are out there in Russia fighting.
Yeah. Okay, great. Daktari, any front page of the local dailies?
I would like to add up on the Russia part.
Yeah, go ahead.
You know, time to time our country has suffered from these rogue agents because the cause of these Kenyans going to other countries to look for jobs, it is because of their high joblessness in this country. And then these agents are taking advantage of the situation. And as we speak right now, as you said, there are those ones who are dead. Remember, those are people's fathers. Those are breadwinners of some families that are gone. You know, as we're just discussing it, who are these agents who are perennially doing this type of racket that is, how do you know, in our country alone, we are not able, Kenyans, we are not, according to me, sometimes we are so porous in the sense that we have not fully defended ourselves. How do you go to defend a country like Russia? How possible is that? With their sophistication of weapons. What capacity do these people recruiting these innocent Kenyans to lure them to be shields? You know, in short, they put them at the front. So these Kenyans, their lives, this seems not to matter. So as they are killed, the Russians come in after they have killed these ones, so they can able to defend whatever war it is. I find it very scrupulous. I find it uncalled for. If the government can really take seriously about these agents, recruiting these young people or whoever middle age to other countries that are not safe. Look at the girls who go to Middle East. And you know, we complain this year, next year again you'll get more people going, the other year you'll get more people going and dying. Please, it sets up for the government. And then I'd like also to comment about Jirongo, Cyrus.
Exactly.
At first, when the driver explained about what happened, I thought I knew what was going on. Later on, when the people he was with were analyzing the sequence of events, I found that, and I can see the police are doing a very good job. They are trying to unravel what really happened, because looks like he had a previous impact before the head-on with the bus. I believe it's something, if it is anything sinister these days, I think we have invested in, not we, the government has invested in cameras, and then Kenyans really want to know what's happening. And then if he already complained his life is in danger, I don't know, I really don't want to get into it, but can Kenyans at least know what is going on? And then if you know your life is in danger also out there and you're still breathing, please take it up. And try and check your movements. And so better safe than sorry.
Better safe than sorry.
But may his soul rest in peace. It is so it's so sad that we have lost somebody who was politically very vocal in this country. And I'm sure now that we are heading to a stormy 2027, his input was to mean so much, especially to the people of Western, but now he's gone. So that's what I'll say, and I'll say pole sana to Lugari residents and pole to Kenya.
Of course, the committee led by chair, that is former member of parliament, that is Fred Gumo, they also raised concerns as to, you know, at what point he left where he was and found himself in Naivasha. So we leave that to the investigative agencies to unravel that. So, Walimu.
There's the news of Jirongo's death, and then there's the headline of the Standard. Now that headline is coming from the Standard, I am not surprised, because they are looking at sensationalizing everything that happens in this country and blaming the government on it. That is what the Standard has done since 2024-23 there. Every prominent person who dies in Kenya, questions always abound. So that cannot be news anymore. People will ask questions. They even told us Raila Odinga died in Kenya, Raila Odinga was killed, then ferried to India, then ferried back, when all Kenyans have closed eyes, or what happened? Where Jirongo died was a very busy place. By now, we would be having very serious stories of what really happened. The very journalists who write such headlines can easily walk to where Jirongo died. It was a very busy place. And they can talk to anyone who cares to talk to them and come up with a corroborated story. But to come here and start asking such questions on a newspaper is not helping the people who are yearning for the truth. Let us also remember, men, many of them, there are certain places when we choose to go to, we send away the drivers, we send away the bodyguards, we lie to our friends. So our friends, if we happen to die wherever we have gone, we'll ask very serious questions. Men, we discover where they were when they die. It's already, oh, they were in this hotel, they were in this town, they had traveled that far. That is what happens. It happens to many, many of us. So I think to come and start asking such questions instead of investigating and providing the answer is to sensationalize something that is almost normal for people to die on the road. I also don't advise people, when you cross 60, stop this nonsense of driving yourself all the time. If you can afford, it is not the best thing. I normally scratch the car here and there since I crossed 55, more than I used to do when I was younger. I was reacting faster. I was remembering things better.
Why? Why is that happening to you?
What am I thinking?
You know, it happens to everyone. It's not just me.
What am I thinking is the other way around. When you're older, you're more careful on the road than when you're young.
In that carefulness, you know, when you cross 50, you can walk to go and switch on the TV. Midway, you remember something else, you divert, and that is scientific. So let us just say, let the investigation be done to find out how the accident happened, so that in future we prevent such accidents. But to cast aspersions on certain personalities, start saying, oh, life was in danger. Even me, I feel my life is very much in danger now, and many of you, because you have enemies anyway. You have enemies. Some of them wish you death. The capacity to kill you is what they don't have. So I think let us be fair to the government and everybody else.
Before I go to Wakili, just a clarification, is your life in danger?
Who?
You?
Very much. Actually, I stand poisoned as I sit here. Proceed.
Oh, you have tough enemies.
That's a serious case.
But I believe everybody has an enemy, Victor.
Yeah.
Yes, people do have.
Is the enemy.
Wakili is next to you. You know what to do. A free advice. Wakili, a quick one.
Yes, thank you.
Good morning.
Victor.
Yeah.
Good morning. Now, let me begin by first sending my very sincere condolences to the family and the friends of the late CJ, the Honorable Cyrus Jirongo. I must make some certain disclosures. Jirongo was my client. In fact, the better part of Thursday, before the Jamhuri, I spent with him in the company of Mr. Omari and a few others at Fairview Hotel. We discussed at length about, you know, the very fate of our country, and we had very serious and sincere plans on what we are going to do post the Jamhuri Day celebrations. So we were supposed to meet actually this week. So it's a very sad state of affair that I woke up on Saturday, you know, with the news of his passing. I was a little bit disturbed. I did not know what to believe. You know, nowadays we are suffering from what is called misinformation. Sometimes you get news on the media and you are quite taken aback. So you need to verify the information. So I had to get this information from my senior, Mr. Danstan Omari, so that I could verify. And then, of course, joining the family and all this. So this is something that has taken me quite aback as a friend and as a client, as an advocate who was representing Mr. Cyrus Jirongo in some of his dealings. So, well, I know for one, I have lost a client, and I know for sure this country has lost a giant especially in terms of, you know, his political, you know, input in the well-being of the country. He had so much that he was willing to give for this country. Well, I know when it comes to certain accusations about, you know, his death, accusations meant to tell us that he was probably killed and, you know, all these things. I know that as a country, we are coming from a past where we've been having, you know, these political deaths or assassinations. And some of these assassinations that we have had politically have never been resolved. Till today, we do not even know who killed J.M. Karaoke. Till this minute, we have not even known, as of fact, who killed Robert Ouko. So really, we are coming from a past where certain political leaders or certain politicians have been killed under very mysterious circumstances. I mean, it is not for nothing that you will see Kenyans, write so many things, come up with suspicions and stories meant to answer to some of the queries that we have been experiencing here and there. Then I must also mention, especially when it comes to the headlines on the Nation newspaper, or on the question about some of our Kenyans dying in Russia. Yeah. Well, I think even from the sentiments you've heard from some members of the panel here, I think we have gotten into the habit of, speaking so much about the symptoms. We try to cure the symptoms as opposed to curing the disease itself. We have come to the realization, as Dr. would mention, that this year we'll make mention and we'll speak about these things, about agents exporting human labor to other countries. And then next year we are going to have a surge even in the numbers. So it is a question about treating the disease as opposed to treating the symptoms. I am privy to certain information. I am privy to the fact that the reason why you see some of our ex-soldiers signing up very quickly to some of these invitations to go to Russia, because we're even having a live case going on in Kahawa law courts on this issue. Most of them who have signed up have done it voluntarily. And they have done it voluntarily knowing too well of the dangers that lurk. And why would people sign to a deal knowing that they might probably even turn out dead? It is because once you have left the military, some of them end up, they leave the military early than probably it was even prescribed for certain reasons. So when they leave the military, they leave so under certain desperation. And once they have left the military, they end up suffering from what is called unemployment. And yet these are people who are skilled. So the military itself, the KDF, does not have ways of dealing with the ex-military officials. So because of the desperation that come with you being an ex and you are trained in military, in warfare, then you will find yourself easily signing up to certain deals. You will be easily cajoled. You will be easily cajoled to signing some of these deals, knowing too well that you are going out and you will probably meet your death when you are out in Russia. But why will you be doing that? You will be doing that because you want to feed your family, you want to combat these hard times that you find in this country. So really, even while we speak about the agents, while we speak about some of the dangers that some of our citizens find out themselves in after signing some of these pacts or deals, it is important that we look at what are the long-term solutions to this. What can the KDF do? When we have these trained personnel, what can we do? How can we engage them? How can we engage them so that once they have left the military, they have somewhere else to go to, as opposed to leaving them out there, hopeless, and yet they know they have certain skills. They'll just go and give them, sign these deals, get themselves into danger, and then we'll be here speaking about all these things.
2 weeks ago, I had a discussion on the same table here with PS, that is Judith Pareno, who is a PS Department for Justice, Human Rights and Constitutional Affairs, and she said that there is a communication between, it's now a government communication.
Yes.
And different departments are taking charge to ensure that Kenyans who are out there come back home. Much as they are not able to trace some of them, but they are doing what is humanly possible to trace them and bring them back home. Whether they signed voluntarily or otherwise, they're in touch with families to return them back home. But she said that's a very delicate balance. Now it's a government-to-government communication as to what is happening, and being in a foreign land, serving the military in a foreign land, then it includes a lot of channel. But let's wait and see what happens. Now, gentlemen and lady, the president is convening a very important meeting this morning at State House with the members of cabinet to approve a 5 trillion shillings budget that is meant to turn around this country from a third world country to a first world country. And the president said yesterday that that journey begins today. Are you beginning with the journey with him, Mwalimu Doyo?
Definitely. If you don't dream it, you'll never achieve it. If you don't start the journey, you'll never get there. If you don't try it, you'll never get it. I think the president has demonstrated to us that he can surpass every other president who has been in this country. Yes, because you see, take for example the Galana Kulalu. This is a project that began very many years ago. Each president comes, talks about it, visits it, nothing happens.
Yeah.
Today, it is a lush green of maize growing here, there again and again. And that is something that many people thought was never achievable. The president has completed, they almost complete, the Talanta Stadium. That is a very, it's not like no other. So most of these things the president does, people even look at him and wonder if he's dreaming, but they just come and pass, and we see them getting done. The Limuru, the Rironi Mausamit Road, I saw the other day the opposition was saying, oh, there are no equipment on site. Personally, I went there and the equipment of site, and people are working on that road, and it will be complete. And when such projects are complete, by the time you complete 20, 30 of them, you are in Singapore. People complained very bitterly about affordable housing. Today, we are going to have towns where you are not going to pay private sector 20,000 for a one bedroom. You are going to pay the government 5,000 for a one bedroom if people have not taken all of them. Because people said, oh, we may not even afford those houses. When there is that large supply, definitely even people who used to live in worse houses for 20,000 will live in better houses for 5,000. That is how you change the lives of our people. You create for them additional income that they can use to do other businesses. You create for them a better life that does not consign them to hospitals again and again. So when you see the president go that route, I think we are changing very many things, including this perennial dependent on borrowed resources. It is borrowed resources that is making this Kenya poor, because we used to pay debt with almost more than half of what we collect from our people. So the moment you have decided to create a sovereign wealth fund that we will be using to build our own roads, our own infrastructure, you remove us from the yoke of debt, and we will not be paying billions in interest to other people. So I think we should be very happy that the president thought that route.
You know, this is a serious conversation, and I want us to have it over a cup of tea. Dr.
Over a cup of tea?
Yes, so which means to take a break.
So we should be expectant. We are expectant of the
Clearly,
coffee.
Yes. Let's take a break. It's a 5 trillion cup of coffee.
Then I'll be next.
Very good. We'll break back. Stay with us.
Thank you.
Got the fear of missing out? Want to keep up with all the latest entertainment news and latest celebrity gossip? From the latest rumors to popping events to the newest fashion trends, here is where you get all the tea or juice when it comes to entertainment, and you get it served on time. All that and so much more on Grapevine every single Monday only on KBC Channel 1. Remember, if you did not see it on Grapevine, then it most probably never happened.
Are you a talented artist? Or are you passionate about a topic you want to discuss? But money can be very hard to find for an upcoming artist. Don't worry, Studio Mashinani has got your back. Sign up on ajira.co.ke to book a session with our music and video producers across the country. Work on your music, jingles, spoken words, and even podcasts to realize your dream. All for free. Studio Mashinani, Radani Talent.
Welcome back. Walimudo is still on air. All right. I'm reminded that the Nakuru-Nairobi highway that you talked about was built in the 1940s.
Yes.
Including the Mai Mahiu.
Yes.
Which was built by the Italian prisoners of war.
Yes.
1940s.
Absolutely.
That you've used that road before.
Not have used that road.
Yes.
That's my middle name when it comes to,
yeah.
when I think travel,
yeah.
I think that road.
Exactly.
Now, well, I like to
go ahead. So we have got a 5 trillion dream that is presented by the president to turn around the country. Let's dig deeper into this, Dr.
Well, you know, Kenyans, I want to talk about, you know, Kenyans, we have this thing of you have an MCA, you have a member of parliament, and then you are like, from outside here, even the football, like let's say the cheerers, every time you know what the footballer is supposed to do, yeah, he should have kicked this, should have done this, should have, and then you're like, this is the MCA, he should have done that, you know, you are speaking from outside here.
Yes.
Now, I want to be one of those Kenyans on a realistic kind of atmosphere. Now, what is a first world country? A first world country, let us look at the first world countries. Do they suffer joblessness? No. The women and children are very protected. You know, I saw the affordable housing as a white elephant, but it came to be. So I tend to think that, according to me, there is an afterthought. Maybe as Kenyans, we need information clearly. You know, when we are the 5 trillion and the kind of stress level that Kenyans have currently, the Kenyans, it just sets them into a panic mode, sends them to a panic mode like, what is going to happen this time? Where is this money going to come from? Borrowing, our pockets, how is it going to be? So I think before all these things can be out, maybe you have to address, maybe somebody needs to address the anxiety of Kenyans. They are so afraid. But they are afraid because they do not have information. Let the information be broken down clearly so that we are, you know, when we become a first world, nobody wants to remain in a third world because there are so many problems in a third world like the ones we are facing. First world, they have lesser problems. When we are first world, we're not going to have agents, rogue agents who are exporting our people and they are being killed. We are going to create jobs even for our neighboring, even East African. They are going to come to Kenya because we are a first world, for them to come here, you know, for them to come here and do those jobs. But now I see Kenyans dangerously getting out of the country to go out there and do dangerous jobs for them. So when we talk about Kenya is going to become a first world, I believe we need more information to that.
Yeah.
In terms of addressing the healthcare system, addressing the education system, addressing pertinent issues, the nitty-gritty that makes us, when we get out, what makes you, even people, you know, first world, people will be looking for visa to come to Kenya. See, you arrive at the borders, let's say in East Africa and other countries, even in South Africa, you go when you are getting into the country, is when you are producing your passport to be stamped, a visa to get in. You don't need a prior visa. You just get it and get in. So I don't know whether all these things are in place, especially the level of joblessness. And number 2, women and children. There is a lot of GBV, there is so much unaddressed issues that have happened against the women and children. Are they addressed? You see, if all these things we can be told, the level of corruption, all the money we collect, if we are collecting 10,000 shillings, let's say as a tax collection in the country, have the loopholes been sealed? Have they all of them been sealed? So if you are collecting 10,000 shillings, let's say, or 10 million, whatever amount in a month, is all this money known where it is? And then we can be enlightened and be excited about a first world. We can be excited. We don't want to be in the third world. If we were in the first world right now, our people could not be dying in the Middle East. They could not be dying in whatever country they're dying. But do we have this information as Kenyans?
That is a question I'm getting from you, Dr.
Do we have this information?
And when I come to you, Peter, what I'm getting from Dr. is 2 things. There is lack of proper communication from the government to Wanjiku.
To trickle down.
To trickle down to Wanjiku. And there is also the aspect of trust deficit. She's raised that concern that, yes, you're going to get that money, but does Wanjiku trust the moment I give my money to the government or from the parastatal or from the sovereign welfare fund and all that, there is that aspect of trust deficit in communication.
Yeah, I think that's a good line of thought, and that's something that requires our indulgence in view of what my fellow panelists have put in. But let me start by mentioning that in our country today, we seem to have developed two new tribes. One tribe for optimists, another tribe for pessimists. The optimists are saying, yes, we can advance to the first world in the next couple of years. The optimists are saying it is impossible because we are poor. And one of the pessimists are saying it is impossible because the country is poor. It is impossible because of 1, 2, 3. But the longest journey on earth, like Daktari said when we started, begins with that great idea, that great dream, that grand intention that though I am poor, I can own a chopper. And then you start making baby steps day after day, day after day. That's the only way you as an individual can progress. The moment you say, I am poor, I'll die poor, probably tomorrow you'll be wanting to commit suicide. One of the things I like most about the current administration is a reasonable deal of optimism, saying, yes, we have challenges, but we can incrementally, we can build this grand dream, and incrementally, day after day, we can make steps towards progress. And while this is happening, the other tribe of pessimists are telling us it is illegal. Yes, it could be not anchored in law right now, but I think the optimists are daily thinking about how do we re-engineer our laws within what is provided for in the Constitution to be able to accommodate this grand plan that we have for prosperity, for progress, for development of our economy. And this is, to me, it is the way the economy needs to be managed.
Yes.
The other line of thought is about things like corruption. In the history of our country, and I mentioned this on air last time I was here, that we are seeing an intention for our nation to move towards tax management and departing from the concept of tax collection. And this cannot be said better without reflecting on the Finance Bill 2025-2026, where in the history of this country, this current Finance Bill is the only Finance Bill that did not add any tax on our consumption. And therefore, this, without saying, points to a reality that as we look forward, the country cannot look at collecting more taxes. We can only look at managing taxes. Because Wanjiku is going to continue asking for more hospitals, better medical services, better roads, and all that. And therefore, because previously the nation has been focusing on increasing tax, every time they wanted to spend more, they have thought of which taxes do we increase. That has been the history of this country. But now moving forward, we are looking at a financial architecture that focuses more on managing the available tax than collecting more tax. So the optimists are saying, yes, there are challenges, we agree, but we have to look for creative ways to be able to manage those challenges. We have to look at how to manage our tax so that our country can advance. And it can never be better than where we are today. Yes.
Okay. Let me just explain what a first world country. It says that it's a country, it originated from the Cold War, that is US and NATO allies. Now generally means a highly developed democratic nation with a capitalist economy, high GDP, modern infrastructure, rule of law, and a high standard of living, reflected by a strong Human Development Index, that is HDI, scores in areas like healthcare, education, and income. Wakili, yes.
Thank you, Victor. I mean, to be very honest and very sincere, I would not love to live in a third world country.
None of us would.
Yes. I have traveled a little and I have seen what other countries have done for their people. You know, we have good roads, we have good infrastructure. If you fall ill, you do not necessarily have to die. You know, but in this country, sometimes, from where I'm coming from, actually this morning, the road from my house to the main road is a very bad road. This is in Kajiado North constituency. So sometimes I tend to think that because of the bad roads that we have ended up having so many dead people dying because they were not able to get to the hospital in good time.
Yeah.
And these people that have died have actually been so many as opposed to those that have been killed by guns. So this is to mean that bad infrastructure in itself is a danger to the people. Because if you do not have good roads, if you have bad hospitals, if you have a failed educational system or education system, it means your people will end up living a very frustrated life. People will be dying at the age of 40, someone who was supposed to die at the age of 60, and someone who was supposed to help us during those 20 years that you will have lived to help us in servicing a certain loan, or to have helped us in coming up with certain ideas that will have improved the lives of others. So give and take, I will say with humility that I will desire to live in a country where things are working. I agree with my fellow panelists that indeed this current administration has been exuding a lot of optimism in the manner in which they lead. And I know too well that hope should never be lost. I mean, we are here hoping for a better tomorrow. Yes. And I think that is why we woke up this morning. We were hoping that our tomorrow will be greater than our yesterday.
Right.
And that is the reason why we wake up every day. So when you want to reflect on, the Sovereign Wealth Fund, which of course has given birth to the National Infrastructure Fund.
Yes.
This to me is not a very bad idea. It is a good idea. I mean, good intentions should be applauded for what they are. But we must be keen, because some of the intentions we've seen from our leaders have taught us over time that they are not well intended. They are not well intended. And that informs the reason why we have these checks and balances. We have a lot of hope in our legislature checking the executive.
So you're not those people who would suffer from trust deficits.
I mean, you should not blame me for that. You should blame...
He's not alone.
Yes, I'm not alone. In this country, what we've been taught, remember, we are coming from a situation where at the the birth of this administration, we had what was promised as the Hustler Fund. You recall we had the Hustler Fund.
Right.
The Hustler Fund had the very good intentions of uplifting the person that was down to somewhere, I mean, substantial, so that you will live a well-meaning life. Now, that Hustler Fund has been a subject of ridicule because of the mismanagement of that fund. I think it is well within the public knowledge that we have lost up to a tune of about 1 billion shillings. It cannot be accounted. I don't know if this is something that I have the information alone, or this is information that is shared across board, but I know the Hustler Fund had the good intention. But again, we have now come from the Hustler Fund. We are now at the National Infrastructure Fund. The National Infrastructure Fund, because this is something that has been borrowed elsewhere, this is something that is supposed to work like this. Number one, we are supposed to, engineer development in our country, not from funds that we borrow.
Through our own contribution.
Our own contribution, right. Because we've been developing this country from debt. We've been developing this country from increased taxes. So this National Infrastructure Fund is a fund that is meant, number one, to collect money, not from debts and not from increased taxes from the people. So the people are not going to suffer. But where we probably would suffer is this. Remember, we had the Privatization Act of the year 2005 that was repealed this year. So the 13 laws, I think the 8 laws that you had people debate about after the passing of the Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga, one of these laws was the Privatization Act.
Yeah.
of the year 2025. So this Privatization Act, what it has come to do, or what it has enabled us to do, is what was probably even, what was enabled by the Privatization Act of the year 2005. That we accepted that sometimes we can have public or publicly owned, companies or parastatals, and we agree that this publicly owned organization is not bringing profit to the public. So it becomes, economically viable for the government to trade off by way of selling the public organization to a private body, or privatizing. Sorry, I'm Kikuyu, so some of these things escape me. So when we privatize these public bodies, the aim is to ensure that we protect the public so that they get more from this public body. So, which, from your point of view, is about the legal aspect, the backbone that should actually frame this structure fund firmly. Well, I think, we do not have a dearth of laws. We do not have a scarcity of laws in this country. We have good laws, laws that were passed with the best of intentions. The problem I have is the implementation bits. Okay. Because we always have problem with the implementation because of the people who are employed as the watchdogs. All right. The watchdog, when it comes to the National Infrastructure Fund, which of course is borrowed from the Sovereign Fund, the Sovereign Fund, the Sovereign Wealth Fund. The watchdogs are supposed to be our members of parliament. The problem we have in this country is not even the president. The problem we have in this country is the parliamentarians. The members of our parliament are the biggest problem that this country has ever had, because when they are called upon to check on the excesses of the executive or some of the overreach of the executive, sometimes they sleep on their job or they do not even understand what they're supposed to be doing.
And probably, Victor, if you allow me.
I wanted to bring in Mwalimu.
Okay.
Okay.
First, Victor, I think even before this conversation, even before having this first world conversation, maybe I would rather, maybe briefly, you got to maybe tell the Kenyans what a first world is. We could be talking about something other people really need some.
You already did it. Yeah, you already did that. But probably, Victor, if you allow me, about
maybe it's derived where we have strong healthcare, strong education, and income. That is Human Development Index. I'll explain that one. But the question I asked, are we there yet? Do we have all that? Yeah. Doctor, you want to continue?
I just wanted to comment also on the optimism. Yes. It's nice to operate from an optimistic level. Always, in any situation, it's nice first don't be pessimistic, because if you are pessimistic, you may not go to the next level of your agenda. Yes. But also, being optimistic to a level that looks utopian is also very dangerous. It's like today you wake up, fine, one day I'm going to own an aircraft or something like that, and then you are doing nothing to start owning a bicycle. Are you saying you'll not just wake up and own that aircraft when you are doing nothing to start from a basic or motorbike or a bicycle? Overrating, over optimism. Yeah, so that's what I'm like. Can we be very careful about this optimism? At what level are you driving your optimistic?
Thank you. Well, somebody is asking here, did Kibaki announce the construction of Thika Highway? We only saw it coming up. As you continue that.
It wasn't announced, but the data was in public, the information was in public. You remember, actually, one of the things I've always spoken about, especially when I hear people complain about the Rironi Mau Summit Road. There are several roads that exit the city, and the main ones are called A roads. The major A road in Kenya that comes on top is the A104, Nairobi to Kisumu. And then there is the one from Mombasa to Nairobi. Then the one that goes north that passes through Thika, Nyeri, Isiolo, and beyond. You note that the major road leaving Nairobi that has been built multiple times is the Thika one. When Kenyatta one was in power, it was the first road ever in Nairobi living to be dulled. When Kibaki came back, it was again the first ever expressway in the country. And
Superhighway.
Yeah, superhighway. Nobody made noise about it. And yet, it went to a direction that we can comfortably say without contradiction that it served largely the Mount Kenya community. Today, we are struggling to build the Mau Summit Road that would serve many, many communities to the hinterland of this country. And when you look at the 3 people who went to court trying to stop that road, they are the people who uses Thika superhighway. Don't all Kenyans deserve good roads? When we were building the expressway, it was the second public-private partnership after the SGR. Nobody complained about the SGR. Nobody complained about the expressway. Yet they were built using the public-private partnerships. Many Kenyans, I dare say 95% of them, have no idea which company helped the government develop the expressway. But when it was announced that we want to use the same public-private partnership to develop the airport, because infrastructure, especially transport systems, are the ones that leads us to the first world fastest, we have had so much noise until the project is likely on hold. The people we normally call pessimists, they are really not pessimists. They are just people jealous of seeing somebody achieve what their brothers and sisters never achieved in the past. The people we call optimists are simply visionaries. The people who want to see things happen. If somebody still doubt whether Kenya can afford to be first world, when will Kenya afford this? There has to be a first step in every journey. There has to be a beginning in every undertaking. And that is what President William Ruto has decided to do. Even when we say that the Hustler Fund was mismanaged, we must distinguish the Hustler Fund from many other funds. Because the Hustler Fund was a fund going directly into individual pockets. And that billion lost is in the pockets of those individuals. But fortunately, they are Kenyans and they have spent the money in Kenya, and wherever they have spent it, probably the government has recollected the money as tax back. So there is no serious loss when individuals living within Kenya actually have money in their pockets. We have had corruption also create jobs. There are people who are very corrupt, but when they invested that money well around, many jobs were created and the government collected the money back.
I hope that is not a direct campaign to
No, I'm not. No, I'm just using that to explain the Hustler Fund. Not really.
That money
just
shared
a disclaimer.
is not corrupt. That money shared is okay.
Actually, there was a very senior citizen in this country who once told me, as much as we are fighting very hard to eliminate corruption, it is good to eliminate it in the same speed which it came in. But if there were to be a switch, that you walk there and switch off, there's no corruption, I can tell you the economy will collapse.
Let's bring it, Peter.
Yeah, so I wanted to end into that conversation about the infrastructure fund because the key area of concern my panelists were raising was about the source of the 5 trillion. And it is already in the public domain that the source of that will be, part of it will be privatization of public enterprises. And I want to inform the country and the world that governments that are progressive are not in the business of doing business. Governments only create environment conducive for investment and businesses to thrive. And that can never be done better than by infrastructural development. Make sure connectivity, inter-country, intercontinental, they are good, so that investment, foreign direct investment can be attracted. Local investors can also dive in, so that with those investment and with good infrastructure, road network, education system, health system, schools, airports, businesses can come in, private investment can come in, the economy can be capitalist largely, and the government can do less and less of business. The government will do business for a few reasons. One of them is to stabilize the market. When private investors are not attracted into the economy because of poor services, poor power availability and all that, poor road network, you find that in areas that are remote, the government will tend to go and do some investment there to meet the basic needs of the people living there, create some jobs. And in many occasions, you find that these government-owned enterprises are loss-making. And therefore, because our economy is gravitating in the right direction, it is the ideal time for the government right now to start making decisions to offload some of its ownership in some public enterprises so that they can be managed on a competitive platform where market forces are dictating prices and where profit can be the driving factor, and then the proceeds of that privatization can be invested in infrastructure fund so that the country can take off in the area of having better infrastructural system. And therefore, the question that where will the fund come from, to me, it is clear where the fund will come from. The question that is it okay for the government to privatize its enterprises, it is the right time to do that. And so the questions being answered are already answered by the document that Didi present the infrastructure fund to the public.
Let's take a break and we'll come back. I want us to talk about two questions here. The aspect of Vision 2030, we are in 2025, crossing over 2026. The Vision 2030 is here with us. Have we hit the mark? That's the first question. The second question is that the countries, the ancient tigers that we're trying to emulate, how long did it take them to get to hit or to break the glass ceiling, where now we can say that, you know, we are at par at some point. And now, where are we? Those are the questions I want us to answer when we come back after this break. Stay with us.
Why are you experimenting with people's health?
Sasa hizi mambo gani ule matope ananiweka?
Wewe mwenyewe ndo alisema kila mtu mahali huko akuwe mbunifu.
Kwani hata leo umepika?
Sasa hii mbulu inaenda.
Utajua kula utaipeleka.
Na kama
Mugaka. Zindaona hata mezenji.
Be patient.
Ati niwe mungondo mugaka we.
Kasi yako nagua hapa ama nagua kule.
Wewe usijichoche. Mungu amekabili rungu yako wewe. Ningekuwa nimekuzima kitambo sana. Hi Pips.
You're not my type.
Pandangasi anashukanga. Wow, kasto umefika kumbe.
A gentleman afai kukula na koti.
Ni hapa tufanyangi hizo ni Kims.
Nenda mbele siagwa. Nenda mbele siagwa.
Someone once told me that Mountain Kilimanjaro is the house of God, and the gods sent us 8 doctors to keep all of us safe.
Dr. Ma, if he gets fired from AfroAid, will his reputation be
No, it won't. He'll go back to his original post.
Lemon's sister's getting married. I'm on my way to her wedding.
Give the invitation, right?
Manka and Masanja gave it to him personally.
I haven't seen him.
Bajaji imeharibika. Nendeni wenyewe kwenye harusi. Tembeeni kilomita 2.
Yes, welcome back now to the final tail end of this discussion. Dr. Let me ask you, the question of transparency, that is number one. The question of time, that Wakili has asked a question here, that we have resources, yes, there's no problem, there's no doubt about that. If you have human resource, we actually have brain drain, you know, exporting human labor to other countries, so which means we have the power to do that. But now what is stopping us?
We have power and the capacity. You know, you can have power and no capacity. We have power and capacity. Let me tell you, Kenyans have gone to school. Victor. Kenyans have gone to school. You go to these, let's say, security firms. You see these graduates, they're the ones who are holding. Never see a soldier umdarau. These people have gone to school. There are no jobs in this country. You know, and it's so alarming. And what I'm saying, the taxes, the money collected as tax. Let's begin there. You know, it's like, it's so porous. According to me, corruption has to be dealt with. If there's any commission that can be formed, is to address corruption. You see, you cannot be collecting so much money, and we cannot say that per se it is up to the president. It is up to every Kenyan. Because naturally, there's a way we are wired, you know, like our electoral system of 5 years. We know we are wired, soko ni amda. You know, when you are somewhere, na soko ni amda, you know, you are elected as a member of parliament today, even as a president. Just our electoral process gives you 5 years to be an MCA, to be a member of parliament, to be senator, to be governor, to be president. Are you seeing? That in itself, it is a contribution factor of the corruption in this country. Because I'm not sure whether I'm going to be back here for me to have these genuine policies, for me to vote for my people, for me to fight Wanjiku on the ground. You know, it is the time factor that I'm working against what I got to do, because I am not sure whether I'm going to go back after these 5 years. So that also is a contributory factor to the level of corruption in this country. Okay. Corruption did not start with the president, the current president, Dr. William Ruto. It didn't start. It's a perennial it's a historical problem that is at the center stage, that I'm not trying to defend him or to be against him or to defend him or to do whatever thing I want to do, but I want to be very realistic in my conversation. Corruption in Kenya did not begin with William Ruto. And I do not want to say it's going to end with him. But all as Kenyans, we have that duty of clearly and openly saying what is our problem. Our problem, main problem, is corruption. When you get into power, it is our time to eat. Let's talk about now the gender disparity in this country. Discussions have been made. The 1/3, 2/3 gender rule has been discussed. Whoever is discussing this is the male. And then it has never seen light. Women continue to be oppressed in terms of representation. Are there enough women to defend other women? The level of GBV in this country is very high. We put policies in place directly to inject the problem of the oppression of women in this country, and the children, the rapists. Can we have, like, you know, another day I was having a discussion, and then I'm saying, can we have special jails for rapists? Castrating them can never be the answer. Rapists. Can we defend the woman with the effort in the developed countries, in the first world countries? A woman and a child is protected. And when a woman and a child is protected in any nation, that nation is developed. Okay. You will not call it developing.
Daktari, men are also being raped by women.
Men, very few.
Are being raped by women.
Men who are being oppressed right now, they are the ones. But mostly the economy is very bad.
Very few.
A broke man managing a broke man.
Is it in the numbers? Is it in the numbers or the act itself?
Which numbers? The numbers.
When you say that they are very few, it's not in the numbers. An act is an act.
No, an act is an act, but who is passing it?
Allow me to do this. There's something
we need protection, Victor.
Yeah, we are.
We as women, not we, you, us, me, as women.
I think this idea of women this idea of women being oppressed is being taken. The joke is being taken too far.
Yeah. It's not a joke.
There are special seats for women in this country, 47 of them. In the counties, if a county elects only men, all the nominations are women. Yet the women have never come up with a way of ensuring the girl child who is coming up will one day compete at par with the boy child. They are enjoying those seats that they have gotten for free. Parliament is open for all women to introduce any bill they want. There are very women lawyers in this National Assembly. None of them has come with a bill to operationalize.
But who support it?
Well, just wait. None of them has ever come with a bill to operationalize the 2/3 gender rule. They are happy to be there using the nomination through 47 seats of women reps. They are happy. In fact, you find there is a woman in parliament who is on her 3rd term as a women representative. Yet this seat was created to empower the woman so that she can compete at par with the men. We should have them there 1 year, another one comes in. I have seen a few of them. Take, for example, Gladys Wanga. Gladys Wanga went for women rep 2 terms and went and beat men. That is the person you should emulate.
You see women go beat men. You know, it's just
the issue of gender issues. Gender issues, Victor.
No,
yeah, because you're saying that women are being oppressed. Who is oppressing them?
We are moving from
the
No, that's too judgmental, though.
Okay. Just allow me to make some clarification.
I knew.
You know when we debate about gender, people tend to think that gender means women. Gender is both men and women. So the 2/3 gender rule in the law is supposed to help us so that if we get to a time when women have been uplifted so much that the boy child now is suffering, then that 2/3 gender rule will now be permitting men to be appointed in these special seats that we are now reserving for women. So when we speak about 2/3 gender rule, women tend to think that gender is women.
No,
and they want to preserve it to enjoy.
By the time I'm talking about gender, I have very clear knowledge of what I'm talking about.
To add on that
when I talk
gender
about
conversation,
gender, I am very clear that a woman needs representation, and it will not go through parliament because three-quarters of them, they are men. It will not go through. It can come also through an executive order because women will not go together. You see, even here, the way we speak here, you are saying a man, a woman. You know the way you are referring to us.
An executive order to do what?
For a woman representation, because if it's going to go through parliament, the three-quarters are men. The 3/4 in parliament, who's passing this?
Into the voters are women. Why don't they vote one of their own?
Who?
The voters are more women.
Okay. What do you do to women who look for
nothing?
Even these women who are let's say governors. I wish you can have a sitting with women who have been elected as governors. What do they go through? If a woman is not attached to some man who is influential to tell them these people, to convince them. You know, you have to convince people that a woman can lead. If you do not have this man, even these women rep seats, if some man does not believe, some powerful, politically connected man does not say, yes, she can lead, trust you me. Kwanza, even this seat, even men, we should be seeing them standing. If at all it is not very specific, it's for affirmative action. You should only see men wanting this seat, even for women reps. Victor, we are oppressed in this country. We are oppressed as women, and we need our voice. We need to be heard, not through fighting. We want a collaborative kind of conversation. Like, fine, I can be governor. I can be, don't come here and ask me, oh, you don't have children, you are not married, oh, culturally, you know, are we going to take our seats? Like, seriously, we need to change from that narrative.
Gentlemen,
women need space.
I kept I kept quite intentional.
Yes.
I kept quite intentional.
I also did.
I didn't want to interfere.
It's a healing process. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. It is ventilated
because we are gentlemen, right?
Yes. But no, it's because you understand your biasness.
You are making a good point. I mean, that's true. I mean, 2/3 gender rule is still a hard nut to crack in this country.
It has never been achieved.
Yeah. Okay, I wanted to finalize this, gentlemen and lady. I don't know how to finish because now you've derailed my thought. Now, the last one is the president is having that meeting today at State House. The quick one, the legal backing, in 1 minute because we are now running out of time. The legal backing that the president should deploy to safeguard this because somebody somewhere is probably drafting a court order going to court this morning or even the following morning. But what are some of the legal backbone that the executive should take care of?
Well, initially, I think sometime in the month of November, when the president was addressing the nation in parliament, there was mention that there was the sovereign wealth fund bill had been passed into law. And this fund, or this sovereign wealth fund bill, is the one that now gave birth to this National Infrastructure Fund.
Yes.
So we have not seen it, even in the Kenya law reports. We have not seen now the final blueprint of the Sovereign Wealth Fund Act now. It has not been seen. So as we speak, we, and I say this with a lot of humility, we do not know where this National Infrastructure Fund is coming from, or where it's, we do not know its statutory foundation. So if you do not have a statutory foundation, then it means that the government will be acting without any legal premise. This will be a declaration, as my Daktari will say, that it's an executive, probably someone will say it's an executive order, that we have this infrastructure to help us in collecting funds. So we need to have some certain level of openness. I have mentioned before that when it comes to public finance, the Constitution, particularly if you read Article 201 and thereabout, we have principles of public finance, that when it comes to matters about our money, because it is our money collectively as a country, there needs to be some level of openness. There needs to be some level of accountability. We need also to have some probity when it comes to the use of natural resources or our finances, so that the country does not get into a point where we do not understand how this idea has been born. Again, I must mention, and this is what is very fundamental, especially when you want to look at the current constitutional dispensation, is the question about public participation. Public participation has been the cornerstone of everything that we are doing. In fact, the biggest change, or the introduction in the current Privatization Act of the year 2025, as opposed to the retired one of the year 2005, is the inclusivity of the people in making decisions as to what should be privatized. And again, when the public has been involved, it now rests solely on the members of parliament to decide.
Who you call the watchdog?
The watchdog. So really, when I want to call a bluff on whoever is taking Kenyans for a ride, I don't even look at the president, personally, because we are looking at the Montesquieu school of thought, where we have a checks and balance, because any human being, even if it was you, Victor, if we gave you the opportunity of being the president of this country, you will probably even be worse. But now, if we have a good, no, I'm just making mention, human beings, you know, if you want to know a man, you give him power. So if you give a man power, they tend to, to be very adventurous. So you will probably be even more adventurous than the current administration. I will probably even be worse. But because we have a good system of check and balance that has been proposed in our current constitutional dispensation, then the aim is to ensure that even when the president tends to overreach sometimes, because he might even sometimes be overambitious, he is called to order by the members of parliament. If we have some reasons to doubt as to the authenticity of this national infrastructure fund, then the parliamentarians will be calling upon the minister in charge of the treasury, the Honorable Mbadi, to come and explain, so that the Kenyans, you know, Daktari has mentioned that some of us are suffering from lack of understanding of what is happening. So many Kenyans do not even know where this money is going to come from. Some of them think that, some kati taongezwa bei. That is what some of us are even thinking. Or told. Because we have even an opposition that sometimes is not very truthful. So, because the Kenyan man, the common man, is lost in the midst of the noise. The president is speaking on this other end, the opposition is saying that other end. Now, the common man, tunasemanga nyasi umia, does not even know who to trust and who to believe. So, from where I'm coming from, my area member of parliament has not been doing a very good job in terms of explaining to the people, letting people know the kind of laws that are being passed. So what our area member of parliament has been doing is going around the whole country, saying one term. That 1 term, 2 term does not help us, at least currently. So what is going to help us currently as a people is ensuring those people who are given the job, they do their job. Any member of parliament, and this is the task I'm going to task every Kenyan, wherever they are, put to task your member of parliament. When the member of parliament is pointing a finger at the president or pointing a finger at a minister, ask the member of parliament, because you are pointing one finger, the other 4 fingers, who are they pointing at? What is your responsibility? What is your responsibility in the shortcomings that we are facing as a country?
That's a good question.
Because we cannot be having members of parliament who always claim that it is the president, and yet they are the people who've given the responsibility of checking him, and yet they come and complain and cry the same way the people are crying.
Thank you. Even the good book says that my people will perish because of lack of knowledge. So we need to get that knowledge as where this money is going to come from and how it's going to work. You agree with me, Mwalimu?
Yeah, you know, Kenya has become a nation of injunctions, especially after President William Ruto was sworn in, to an extent that we injunct the health deal between Kenya and the US on the flimsy reason of data privacy. As we sit all here, we have filled forms that go international with all our data, including blood group, name of our mothers and everything. And we never complain. We have bought things online with our credit cards. When we go to fill visa forms, we give every data without knowing in whose custody it is going to be. What data about this Kenyan is it that they do not want to go abroad? The Kenyan individual. And this is what people are talking about using to injunct. And the courts have also become an accomplice in this activism in injunctions. Everything that goes before them against the government, they will grant it. So I think we need to be honest. There are many things that I've done before. We have released data to foreign companies before. Even the Safaricom, it is largely foreign owned, but we release all the data. How many Kenyans are on M-Pesa? They are all there. ID numbers, male or female, age and everything. So what is this data that we don't want Americans to see?
Do we have hope?
Sorry?
Do we have hope as a country?
We do. We do. In fact, we will go very far. You see, Kibaki came up with the Vision 2030. Nobody even complained. Nobody even thought it was ambitious. And it is the same thing President William Ruto is trying to complete. And now people are making noise. It is simply what I said before, that the people who are pessimists are not really pessimists. They are jealous people who don't want to see somebody else achieve what they never achieved in their own time.
Thank you. Dr.
Well, I was supposed to finish up or comment?
Yeah. That's your closing remark. I like the way you put it.
I just wanted to be clear. Me, I would say, I really love today's discussion, but on this, it doesn't mean pessimism, optimistic. There's a way you can overrate these two terms. If at the end of the day, we all want to move as a country, we want to go to a first world as a country and enjoy the goodies of our first world country. Let us not move to the first world country with gaps, what can I say? With dots of a third world country. You know, the way you can move from a ghetto environment, you go to a high-end area, but all your mind and activities, they are on this other side. So if you are moving to your mansion, let us all move to the mansion, understanding a mansion is different than a ghetto. I want to give third world a ghetto kind of way, and this other on a mansion. When we want to move from this ghetto environment, and then we want to move to the mansion, let us be in position to enjoy what a person who stays in a mansion enjoys. Note that we are partly depending on the ghetto way, and then as we stay in the mansion, that's what I would say. And this is, I would say, it's a very welcome idea, despite the uncertainties. But anything that begins as a teething problem, I thought the housing, the affordable housing, could be a white elephant, but it has come to pass. So I really don't want to be too pessimistic or too optimistic for this. My eyes are open. I can be able to read. So I'm looking forward to getting more information and moving towards the first world, accepting everything else.
All right, Peter, tumalizia in 30 seconds.
Yeah, thank you very much. As we conclude, judicial activism is something that must be stopped so that the country can move forward. Number two, the mountain is blowing, is burning. The mountain is on fire. There is agitation of East versus the West, because there is a feeling that the West does not appreciate when the East is in the kitchen. And therefore, I would encourage the West to really not accept to divide the mountain by supporting the East when it is their turn. Thank you.
Okay. Peter, umetoa hiyo wapi sasa?
Amefungua bandora.
Listen to Ruku.
He has opened another topic. It's like we never talked.
You know, some assumptions have been cast on the judiciary.
Yes.
I mean, I work at the judiciary as an advocate, so I help people in brokering justice so that they can get their justice. I mean, after all is said and done, let us just allow institutions to do their work.
Yes.
sometimes it might not make us happy, but at the very least, when the other side has been heard, the court is going to balance the scales of justice. So I know the judiciary has been accused of giving injunctions. When it is deserving, the court has the power and the discretion of giving injunctions. But when the other side has been heard, as we saw with the recruitment of the police, at some point there was an injunction that was given. And then when the other side was heard, the injunction was lifted. So what we need to do is, let us just allow the systems to work so that we can always check each other.
No, that delay was unnecessary. That's like injuncting the health system. It's very unnecessary.
There are reasons. If they have been advanced, there is a prima facie case that has been made. Someone has made their own case.
All right.
So they need to be assisted.
I knew where this was coming from. But I need to thank all of you, ladies and gentlemen. I knew where this was coming from. And Shadrach was not going to leave that one to go and respond to. Shadrach Omboi, who's an advocate of the High Court, thank you so much for being a part of the show the whole year. Asante sana. And Odoyo Wide Mwalimu, asante sana. He's a political commentator. You can also follow him on social media. He's all over there speaking his mind as a senior citizen. Thank you so much for always being a part of the show all year round. Daktari, asante sana. Evelyn Ogendo, we wish you all the best. I know where your focus is. I know. Asante sana. I'm not going to say it here. It is not my work to do that.
I know, but you can take it up. I have no problem. Pro bono though.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And Peter Njeru, asante sana.
Thank you.
That's where we wrap it up. This is our last show with me until next year. I wish you Merry Christmas and a good year coming 2026. May God bless all of you.
Amen.
Thank you.
Merry Christmas to you and the Kenyans.
Merry Christmas.
All right, so let's take a break. When we come back, going to Western Spectrum, Wycliffe and Achola standing by right now. They are in your homeland, Kisii Town. Wiki and Achola, if you can hear me, good morning from the land of Matoke. How are you doing?
And thank you very much for joining us. Indeed, this is the Western Spectrum, of course, coming to you live from Kisii County. And of course, you're focusing on things that have been affecting, or issues that have actually been affecting people for this part of the country. And of course, this Monday, we are focusing on SMEs. Of course, SMEs are contributing close to 40% to the GDP. And of course, employing about 15 million people in the country. And of course, that can only overemphasize the importance of that sector. So we'll be going through what they've actually been going through the entire year, what needs to be done, and of course, going forward, what needs to be done, so then we can actually continue to strengthen this important sector that continues to contribute to the GDP, but more importantly also continues to create more employment for the many youth across the country, and of course all Kenyans at large. And of course, just to take us through exactly what has been happening in the sector, I'll be talking to the person who is actually involved on a day-to-day activities of the sector. That is Eric Adua, who is the SME and creditor officer at Afresa Sacco in Kisii County. Of course, he'll be telling us exactly what needs to be done in the sector, and of course the experiences they've actually had over the year in terms of just ensuring that indeed they become more resilient and perform much better this coming year. Karibu sana, Eric. This is a very important sector. Yes, where are we at this year, or how have we performed?
Based on the previous years, you see there's a huge still number of growth in terms of SME, based on the huge number of unemployment in the country. So most people are opting to create their self-employment, and that's making them to go to the SME bit part of it. As you have said, SME is playing a key role in the economy, and us is just now to see how can we support or empower more people in this platform. You understand that there's a lot of challenges. Most people in the SME cannot have the access to credit facilities. Maybe that the commercial banks, they don't offer. Also, or you can find that if they are offering the access to the facility, sometimes might be tedious to the SME people. So the key thing is us now coming in to support these people, empowering them also, and giving them now training in terms of financial literacy. These are the key things, because now in as much as we are funding them or lending them, we also need to ensure that we train these people on how they are using these facilities to improve their businesses.
Building their capacity. But Eric, one thing that needs to be addressed, and of course this is an issue that has been discussed over the years, is the general environment where of course our SMEs are playing. How is the environment, and why do we keep complaining all the time about the environment and the need to actually make the environment much more accommodative to the SMEs?
So in terms of environment, maybe now the bit in terms of now maybe the markets. Some of the businesses they find it tedious in terms of compliance, issues with trading licensing, depending on different areas of the country, depending on the counties. Also, sometimes you find even the markets, some of the markets, if you go in some other towns, you find the markets are small, they cannot accommodate each and every person, you understand? So the only thing we can see now, how can the authorities now, maybe the county governments, in terms of now giving these people ease environment to do their businesses without putting a lot of restriction in terms of compliances, in terms of fees, of charging them fees to make them now shy away from doing the business. And also now giving the support per se in that conducive working environment, majorly the markets where they go, so that at least they can do their business at peace. Yes.
When you talk about policies and of course licensing, we also understand, of course, this is where the government generates its income in terms of taxes, right? Yes. So then how do we juggle the two? How do we balance the two in terms of ensuring, yes, we are giving them a conducive environment, but also at the same time, we are also ensuring that Caesar gets what they're supposed to be getting?
For it to be a win-win situation between the SMEs and the government, I think now in terms of maybe there's issues of maybe now sitting down with the county authorities, looking into it, making these fees not to be too tough on them, understand, making the favorable so that it becomes a win-win situation. I understand also the government want to get taxes from this, but I think it should make it at least more favorable so that at least a lot of people can be accommodated in the markets. Yes.
Paint for me a picture. When you want to start a small business, let's say in Kisii County or in Kisumu County or whichever county across the country, right? Just paint me for the picture of exactly what a trader needs to actually comply with before they can actually set up a business.
Maybe I'll give an example for somebody doing second-hand clothes. We call it mtumba. The native language, we call it mtumba. So for somebody to go set up a mtumba business, maybe in a market X, I won't mention the name, he or she must liaise with the market authorities. Each market, every major market has authorities. It has leaders, it has officials, of which you have to go through them, you understand? So maybe going through them, there are some requirements that you have to meet for you to set up even a space. For instance, some counties also have markets which you have to pay rent to rent out those spaces, you understand? So also depending on the nature of the business, sometimes they find it tedious because also some other business in the SME sector, they are seasonal, you understand? You might find this season they are good, there are some of the season, just like any other business, you have the good days and the bad days. So maybe if the government makes it favorable so that these issues of accessing to the markets and maybe in terms of compliance bit part of it, they should not put a lot of licenses in terms of, we understand also it's a win-win situation, but you give this person a good environment maybe in terms of compliance so that he or she, even if he is paying some amount of fee, in terms of now when he or she is doing the business, at least after sales and also the profit at the end of the day, this person goes home with something. Yes.
Adaptation to technology and of course just ensuring that indeed we are well adapted with the changing environment of doing business. Is it part of the reason as to why SMEs are finding it extremely difficult? Because you find that a woman who was selling or a trader who was actually selling tumba 10 years ago is still doing the same way. The government comes, says that these stores are actually on road reserve, they are demolished, and then they cry, then they start again. Are we not adapting to new ways?
Somehow we are adapting to the new ways because also change is drastic, you understand? Or that's why you see some other platforms, we also, us as the lenders, we are trying to digitize. We're trying to digitize the platform and the access to facilities so that now somebody who is in the market, he or she He's not supposed to come to the banking hall for him to get the facility. We have the digital platform where by somebody can maybe even request for a loan via the app or the USSD at the comfort of the business. But now also this now depends with the credit relationship of the SME client and the institution where he or she is getting the facility. So in terms of technology, some of them are adapting. And now we also have to admit that the increase in technology is now also making us to enhance our services in the digital platforms. I understand some of them might be rigid, but majority of them are now transforming to the changes we are having in the platform, and now it's also now effective for them. Yes.
Talking of adapting to, of course, the changing technology, e-commerce is one of the areas, of course, that these SMEs can actually leverage on big time. And I'm looking at the figures involved. It is approximated that, of course, just the turnover is close to 154 billion Kenya shillings. That is a massive war chest. How then do we tap into that space, considering, of course, that the licensing, the rental space, and everything else is becoming quite difficult for many SMEs. How do we then leverage on the space of online or e-commerce?
So first of all, we need also, based on the SME, we need to do more sensitization more sensitization to them, for them to know the need of now going the e-commerce platform, because the way you've said, it's a huge platform. Yes, you can do advertisement, you can look for clients online, you can market your products, you can access your maybe online facilities through the platform. So I think
the returns are quite attractive.
Very, very attractive. Now, based on maybe the rigidity of maybe some of the SME clients, I think we also still more through also the government to do more sensitization for them to understand how this platform works. I understand that is something also they have with the challenge. Most of them don't understand how this platform works. So we need more sensitization, more training to them to understand why should I now not only focus on the clients I'm receiving in the market, then I can also be in the market and attract some other clients outside in the online platform. Yes.
And of course, some of the things that the government needs to do, of course, is ensuring that we can actually access internet in some of those markets. We all know what the government has done in terms of 145 hotspots across the country in marketplaces. How then do we ensure that a Mamboga or that youth who is actually just getting into the business can actually see the need to actually move away from physical looking of clients to actually ensuring that then they actually adopt e-commerce and go with it to the extent that they can actually benefit full time?
The way of is just more sensitization and more trainings. That's why now the institutions that are maybe the institutions that offer facilities to these clients, like the way we do, is as much as we are giving credit facilities to these people, the key thing also is we need to sensitize them. We need to train them on all these things. You know, some of the clients, maybe it's not just a relation of, you give me money, I pay back, I take. No, it's a relationship you're building with the client so that you can go overboard. Understand? But I feel that most of these people are not trained. Most of these people are not trained and well equipped, and maybe sensitization is still.
That is where you guys coming.
Yes, now that's where we are coming now. We are telling you now we are also supporting with credit facilities, but now we also have trainings. We offer trainings like how best can we support you? Because at the end of the day, we want to empower these people. Our key goal is to rebuild and empower these people. So we're rebuilding your credit history, and also we want to empower you, so that now we don't find you the way we got you. That's now what we believe is growth to these people. Yes.
One of the areas that we have witnessed this year has been the injection of close to 50 billion Kenya shillings by the government, of course, through that World Bank grant, in terms of just ensuring that more and more youths, close to 820,000 youths across the country, benefiting from that project. How important is that gesture in terms of ensuring that youth can actually get seed capital to start their business, but more importantly, also embrace the saving culture and can actually access more resources in terms of just growing their business?
I think maybe the government through the Ministry of Cooperatives, yes, maybe the government should maybe partner with some institutions that work with maybe business people, because now through them, the government will be sure these funds will reach the given individuals at the end of the day. So through this institution, the government should partner with these institutions so that now at least the government will be like now the institutions will be like the middlemen between the government and the people. So that now, depending on this money allocated to support the youths and the SME at large, can reach the people on the ground. Yes.
Yes. Because the argument, and we've had this discussion before, the argument most of organizations like yours have actually had has been the ability for the government or government institutions to have those that are actually accessing these resources pay back the money. Forget about the grant that has actually been given to people, because when you look at some funds like Wezo Fund, like Youth Fund and what have you, the repayment rates are quite low. What are you guys doing different?
Okay, what you're doing differently is if a government partners with an institution, if we are dealing with the borrowers direct, we know them, we are working with them. So it will be easy for us, because at the end of the day also, it's part of our KYC process. We can't loan you if we don't know you. We have to do background check, we have to do due diligence, we have to know which business you are doing. We need, if need be, we need to visit that business to ascertain if that business can be able to pay that loan. So it will be easy. It will mitigate risk. It will mitigate risk, because now the government will be like now the financier, us as the middlemen, and now the people on the ground, the clans, the clientele base as now the people we are dealing with. So it will be easy also to follow up, because now at the end of the day, it will be also easier for the government, because now people on the ground want to be knowing that this money is from the government. You understand the culture, because they'll say, "Hii pesa serikali hatutalipa." You understand? Yeah.
How do you get rid of a bit of that culture? Because even if the money is actually coming from the government, it needs to be paid back, right?
Yes.
We need to ensure that we continue to build that basket, so that then more and more youth, more and more business people, more and more SMEs can actually be grown. How do we change that culture of saying that hii ni serikali na naweza kula na hakuna kitu kitafanyika?
So that culture now, the way I've said, is now the government should not be the way let's give us a scenario the way Hustler Fund now happened. You understand? Everybody was going the phone, you borrow, the money is now most of people have defaulted. But now if the approach was different, maybe now the government partnering with institutions, because these institutions, they have the structures in place, they have the clientele in place, they have the customers in need of this money, you understand? So now the interaction also be part of it, because now that's what I was telling you. If we are dealing with the borrowers, we interact, we tell you our policies, we know each other. If I know you and you know me very, very well, the risk of default will be low, because now at the end of the day, if you don't pay, I know where to get you, I know where to find you.
The argument has been that youth and women don't have that collateral capacity in terms of just enabling them access some of these resources or some of these services from financial institutions, right? But there's been deliberate effort from various players, and I will deliberately mention the government in terms of ensuring that they can actually access these resources. But we continue going back to the very problems that we've actually experienced before, where people don't want to pay, yet when you allow them to go to financial, or let's say private financial institutions, they will not access those resources. Again, I'll ask the question, how do we change this narrative? How do we ensure that, yes, you don't have capacity, but when you're giving you capacity, that is actually taken to a level where now you can actually be self-reliant?
So I think the narrative bit part of it is now the financial institutions or the financial players in the market also. What was there before is there was limited access to these facilities. They have said to you, maybe I'm a youth, I'm having maybe a cyber cafe, I'm having two of my people as staffs to support me, I need a facility, I'll work in any commercial bank, they'll need this in terms of paperwork and compliance. So most of them don't have, so they'll have to shy out. So there are ways you can assess a business person without having a lot of restrictions. So the key thing that should be done to change the narrative is, let us make the ease of access to these loans to be affordable. Affordable is, what do I mean? Let us make them affordable in a way that we don't need to give somebody a lot of restrictions for him or her to qualify for a facility. That is one. Then also have simple ways of assessing the risk of a borrower. Yes. So that now, at the end of the day, each and every person will having an ease. The way you have said, as you have digitized, nowadays every platform is digitized. You can be sitting here and just pressing your phone and you get a loan in your phone. Yes, that all, well, for you to get that, it means you have a good credit history with the institution you are working with. That is one. You understand now, other commercial banks are checking in bit of the credit reference bureau. So if you are listed with another creditor, you cannot get a facility with another creditor. So all these things, if you looked in, and now maybe having another structure to see how we can accommodate many people at the same time without now relying on their past credit history, just like we are human beings. You know,
Eric, your past tells me what you'll do in future, what you'll most likely do in future. Yes. And we've seen, like the president was saying in Mias, and he's continuously talked about it, right? About the need to correct the credit history of most of Kenyan youths, right? And he's actually gone ahead and pumped in billions of shillings in terms of just ensuring that Kenyans can actually borrow that money through Hustler Fund, right? But we continue to default. And most of us are actually in CRB one way or another, right? How then do we ensure that we get away from that? Not just credit reference bureau, but also the culture. And I'm insisting on culture because if we don't change the culture, then it means we'll continue being in the same web over and over again.
So that's why also the way you've said, to kill that also, we're also now introducing the saving culture, you understand, of which most youths were not able to do the savings bit part of it. No, you understand. But now we're also coming up with the sensitization that you can save however small amount you have. You can save however small amount you have. Even if you're saving 10 bob per day, at the end of the year, that's something you can be proud of to save and can support you to sort one or two, three needs. Also. So the key thing is now the credit listing bit part of it we can't, because also that's another way of some other institution to use to assess a risk of a given borrower. But also what I'm trying to say is now, apart from the credit listing bit part of it, there are other ways you can use to assess also the eligibility of a borrower. You understand? There's another thing now, the way you're working also, as you're trying to build, there are people who are having bad credit, but now for somebody to understand that, yes, I was listed with a given credit reference, but now I can still access facility, and this my credit can be built from scratch up to somewhere.
Yes. That is one of the areas that we can actually build traders and business people's eligibility in terms of access to loans, right? Yes. But it's extremely poor in the country. Yes. How do you improve on that?
Improving on that,
what's the secret?
The secret is have an affordable or a simple plan of somebody to save. Don't tell somebody to save. Simple is simple because we are dealing with traders. We are dealing with traders. These are people on the market every day. So if I tell you if you're on the market every day and I tell you every day I just want you to save 50 bob from all your profits in the day, just take 50 bob and save every day. It will be cheaper for that individual than telling him or her every month, I want
the discipline to save 50 bob, or even just we were in the office the other day with my colleagues, and we were looking at exploring ways of how we can actually save, right? And we're saying if we are able to save as a group 1,000 per day, at the end of the year we have 365,000 shillings, right? That is quite a lot. However, the discipline to ensure that each and every day you are saving 50 bob, or someone else is saving 1,000 bob. How then do we inculcate that culture of saving to ensure that youth can actually save, and they will not save from Monday to Friday? When it gets to Saturday, ni sherehe mpaka Monday.
Understand that, but the key thing part of it goes to about sensitization. Yeah, about the sensitization, and now telling the if I tell you to save right now, I have to tell you the reason why, the need for you to save. I need to enlighten that. I need to tell you the need to save and the importance of you now saving and how that money can help you. People saving in different ways. I can be saving maybe your 50 bob per day. People play chamas. Chamas is also another way of saving. Yes. If we are in a chama group of 5, every week you're supposed to give maybe 2,000. Then it goes like a merry-go-round. It's also a saving culture. That's why we also come up with groups. So that now if people in a group, they're saving in a group, because now some people, maybe they have the the weakness of saving as an individual, but you know, if you have, if in a group, it's compulsory, it's mandatory, like this, we need this amount, X, Y, to be contributing. So there are ways we are trying to bring up those all modalities, but now savings, there are a lot of ways you can advise a client to save, but now it's just proper training and regular training, so that now we inculcate that culture and make them understand the importance of saving.
Let's bring in financial institutions like yours, right? And you have actually been in the field in this sector for some time now, right? On the flip side, you guys are thriving in the sense that you every year you post some levels of profit. What is it that you guys are doing different from what we're actually witnessing from the government in terms of extending some of these services to those that actually want these facilities? What is it that we're doing different? And then too, on the same, how do we ensure that even as the government wants to give all those resources, that such institutions as yours are part and parcel of the program in terms of ensuring that they can extend these facilities to the government and continue to train these beneficiaries to a level where now they can actually be self-reliant?
So in terms of numbers, what I can say is, first of all, we try as much as possible to reach to each and every person. We try to reach. If we go into mashinani, we try as much as possible to sensitize and also create awareness anywhere we are, so that at least we reach as many people as possible. That's one of the. Now, based on the clientele we are dealing, SME people are everywhere in the country, and they are huge in numbers. And our main clientele base are SME, and that's where we want to tap what we have. So we try as much as possible. We try as much as possible to do proper awareness and sensitization, and we reach at least each and everybody at mashinani, so that the machine. Yes. So they speak. Yes.
In one area that I've seen that most SMEs, most financial institutions, yours included, they're actually tapping in the vast potential that there is in boda sector.
Yes. Because the boda sector is a big sector, and they also have needs. And the way I've told you, as our key role is just to rebuild and empower as many people as possible. So in the boda sector also, we support a lot of them, because we also have products that can suit their needs. Yes.
Let us flip the coin and look at the challenges that we've actually experienced this year. That is one. And then two, looking at going forward, what do we need to do to ensure that indeed we achieve much more than we've actually achieved this year? First, the challenges, and then, of course, what we need to do as we move forward.
Okay, what I can say, maybe like a challenge, not per se, but what majorly I can say is a challenge is maybe now the way we said, there's still that sensitization that needs to be done. That is one. Another thing, financial literacy. Yes, there's still need to be more training in financial literacy, because also some of the SME people, they access loans, but most of them don't know how to plan. You understand, if you're doing a business, you have to know if you're taking a facility, the business is a different entity with you. So if the loan is for the business, it's supposed to support the business. But now, based on you find somebody, maybe the loan, maybe the books, he or she is mixing his money from his own pocket with the business pocket. So I think also what we just need to do is still more sensitization in financial literacy, because now if we sensitize a lot of people in terms of the financial literacy bit part of it, then now if these people coming to take facility with us, it will be easy for them. Yes.
Going forward.
Yes.
What needs to be done? Of course, you've talked about sensitization and everything, but looking at the major milestones that we need to achieve, so that then we can actually be more resilient, because this sector has been resilient over the years. At times we differ and think that we are on the brink of collapse, right? But still, the resilience continues. What needs to be done so that then we can actually safeguard this sector and actually continue, moving forward?
I think what needs to be done, the way you said, is now you still need support from the government. Yes, we still need support from the government as the institutions, and also now the clientele-based SME. We still need more funding from the government. Yes, so that now there is a huge number of SME people who are untapped, who need these facilities. If you walk outside here, maybe just walking in Skisi town right here, you'll meet a lot of people who need facilities to do their business. Yes.
And Kenyans need to trust financial institutions. Exactly. Because in the past we've seen where people think that if I was to access a loan from this financial institution, then chances of me actually being, my goods or my items actually being taken over by the financial institutions actually high, especially if I don't pay.
Yes, we also need to kill that mentality. So the way you said, and also now we also need to enhance that mentality of now not people in the market thinking like there's still access to facility the way commercial banks do. Access to loans nowadays are affordable. If you there are a lot of institutions issuing facilities, so access to facilities nowadays are affordable. So we also now maybe to enhance or not to continue supporting these people, we really need to make our access to loans to be affordable and to be cheaper and to digitize everything. Yes.
To your organization, yes. You opened a branch in Kisumu.
Yes.
Today you're opening another one in Kisii. Yes. What is the secret?
The secret is also now we are trying to tap different markets, because now in terms of growth, that's the way to go also. Because now in Kisumu, this is now Kisii is our branch number 4. So we just want to tap this market, because now we need to tap as many people as possible. One, we also need to, in terms of growth, we need to grow, because now if we expand to different towns, it's when now we'll build our clientele, it's when now we'll grow.
What are you doing different?
What I can say we are doing different is we are a dedicated team, that is one. We are a dedicated team, that is one. Two, we're trying to build a good clientele relationship with our clients. Yes, that is a key priority. We also, it's not just about lending. We also build that clientele relationship. That's that company-client relationship, we're trying to build it to becoming effective. Yes.
One of the areas that I've heard you guys talking about is the area of not worrying much about, your client's credit reference bureau history. Yes. That is too risky.
With SME, it might look too risky on the books, but now, in terms of risk assessment, any lender can tell you. There are a lot of ways you can assess somebody to give him a facility. Not necessary, because if you look the way you've said, most people, maybe most youths, they were listed in the CRB, maybe right now they don't have the adequate money to pay back the facility. But now they have something that they're doing. They have business they're doing that need to be boosted. So I feel only the listing bureau is just a way of assessing a borrower. But there are a lot of ways that you can assess a borrower before you issue a credit facility to a borrower. Yes. Why Kisii? Yes. First, we have a branch in Nyamira. So the Nyamira branch, when we tapped the market, we saw the need. And now, based on our feasibility tests, also we looked at the market, we saw there's a need to tap this market. Because now, if you look, there's a big market in terms of SME. If you look at Darajambili, there's a big market there. Those are our potential clients. If you look at the border sector, the border sector is big. So we felt that we really have a clientele here that we need to tap and support and empower. Yes.
Eric, as we conclude, we want to let us discuss about cyber threats. Because cyber threats is one of the areas that you have constantly, that SMEs are, not SMEs, SMEs and of course microfinance have constantly felt the effect of threats. Yes. How well are we prepared in terms of just ensuring that everything is fine?
In terms of now,
threats, in terms of crime and everything.
In terms of crime, that is data privacy or
data privacy, and of course just you wake up in the morning and your systems are not working, or they've actually been hacked, or someone has gotten into your system. How well are we prepared in terms of ensuring that even as we encourage SMEs to go onto the digital platforms and ensure they can actually access these services on digital platform, that they are actually sure that their money is safe?
So in terms of security, from our end, we have a very, very robust system. That is one. That I don't think we can encounter any form of attack. But in terms of now the platform, the way you say the digital platform, we have an app you can't access if you don't have a PIN. We have those PINs. We also have to verify you from our system backend, so that now we whitelist you, so that we don't end up maybe somebody using your phone or your account, the app, to do a transaction without your knowledge. So we have those enhanced security features that one has to go through. They call the verification steps. I think 2 or 3 steps for one now to access the facility online.
In conclusion,
yes,
your request to the government. Yes. Your request to the government, yes.
My request to the government is just the government should just continue supporting us through maybe funding to the government, from the government, and also continue to giving us the conducive environment to continue doing our work and support as many people as possible. Yes.
Fantastic. That is Eric Adua, the credit and of course SME officer in Afresa Sacco in Kisii County. Of course, just breaking it down to us what exactly needs to be done in terms of ensuring that we can actually grow this sector, a sector that contributes close to 40% to the GDP, and of course employs close to 15 million Kenyans in that sector. A sector that we've actually seen the government and of course specifically the president doing everything within his means to ensure that indeed they have more and more people in the sector, but also have structured way of doing business. Eric telling us the need to change the narrative and the need to change our culture in terms of access to credit facilities, but also just the saving culture, so then we can actually move to the next level. My name is Achala Simon, and I take you back to Broadcasting House for continuation of our program.
In a world where news is ever changing, staying informed is more important than ever.
Join us every week on News Check, your go-to show for the latest in current affairs, breaking news and in-depth analysis.
A warm welcome to KBC News Check.
From politics to global events, we bring you content that matter to you.
We're not just speaking about the governance and how we want to see it, but want to actually participate.
Get your facts, hear from the experts, and really understand what is happening around you.
We need to change our system first.
You have to do the impossible to make sure the message is home.
Stay ahead, stay informed, stay engaged.
Will these people, everybody agree?
Just listen to me.
Let's give him a chance to clear the air.
Catch News Check every Tuesday and Wednesday from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. Only on KBC Channel 1.
Was to get rid of us so that we won't find out about his relationship with Lucia. You're wrong. She destroyed my life. On the contrary, let me tell you that I saw Marcella first and not her.
Why are you so interested in knowing?
Because that darn woman abused the trust that we gave her when we had her in our house. And she's the one who killed the person that's very dear to all of us.
A small apartment you have here, but, well, it really looks a bit cute.
Why don't you take off your mask and tell me what you really want? Do you want to steal my husband from me?
Thank you for staying with us. Good Morning Kenya gets to continue, and right now we get into our family check segment. As we know, we are in the festivities, so our conversation is around that. We are asking you about family gatherings, family get-togethers. Is it still part of the traditions today? You know, back then it was like mandatory for us to go gather together as a family during the, especially during Christmas, you know. Your auntie has come, your uncle has come, all your cousins are there. It's a whole family gathering. Now, do we still have the same thing happening today in the world we are living in right now? That is the conversation we will be having today, or we are having actually right now. And I'm pleased to be joined by Nelly Mutai, who is a multimedia creative and actress as well. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Right next to Nelly, we have Pastor Paul Blessing. It has been a while since you've been here. So welcome back. Pastor Paul Blessing is the director, Star with Paul. Welcome.
Thank you.
All right, let's get into the conversation.
Yeah.
And let me begin with, when you think about the holiday season, growing up specifically, individually, you know, growing up, when you think about the holiday season, what comes to mind?
Chapati.
Yeah. Chapati is what? That's true.
The way it has been not made from January, chapati must be there. It was just like every home should have at least.
Yeah.
That is a tradition.
Yeah.
And you find like it is known at least on 24th. Everybody should have come home. It was like a tradition, which is real tradition.
Yeah.
I think we should come out of it, but Muluya
not really.
You know,
nowadays on social media.
Ana traditions.
Ana traditions.
Ndio wanapenda yani hata kama gari ikifika 4,000 lazima tu.
Na amebebana na vitanda vyake na vitu vyake. No offense to my friends from that side.
We are making fun with that kwamba yeye anasema niko kama Mluya lazima mimi nifike Christmas nyumbani.
So Nelly, wewe growing up,
now let us hear.
Yeah. Growing up, what comes first when you remember that season
just
of
like
Christmas?
she said, good food, family. That is when you get to meet your cousin that you had not seen maybe the entire year or in 2 years. So for me, it is just food, family getting together, my story. Yeah. Basically, yeah.
That is what defined holidays for us. I think for most millennials, also the previous generation before that, that used to be the norm.
Yes.
Like when it's the holiday season, specifically the Christmas holiday, it's just home, food. Kuna ule auntie wa kukata kachumbari. Tu anakuanga yeye ndo akukata kachumbari na kutengeneza salads. Kuna auntie wa kutengeneza matumbo.
Anajulikana she's good at that.
Kuna yule uncle ambaye ni mlevi, you know, atakuwa hapo watoto wakichezea. Kuna yule wa kuchinja kuku, kuna yule wa kuchinja. Like that's what defined Christmas season for us. Always. But now I don't know if it's the same. Maybe just from your point of view, is it still common for us to celebrate Christmas holidays with the extended family as it is right now today?
So I think family, I mean, like the holidays and celebrating with family is still there. The tradition is still there, but it has evolved. It's not the same like traditional, all of us going home, getting together, because now with work, sometimes some of your family members have moved to a different city, even different country. So I feel like people are creating new traditions. So I feel like they have evolved in a way or the other. It's not the same, though there's those people that are still holding on to the same tradition that we've had for so many years.
Is your family still holding on to that?
For our family, we are trying.
Mnajaribu.
Personally, I have to go home. Yes, we have to go home. Like, okay, growing up, we used to do the get-together at my auntie's place in Mombasa, because we lived in Mombasa. But now that my parents moved to Eldoret, so now we do it in Eldoret. So me, my sister, my brothers, we get together in Eldoret. So sometimes it's not all of us, sometimes it is. But then again, we still try to keep the tradition alive.
You still try to keep it alive. Pal, do you feel like we are still holding that tradition as it is right now?
Okay, for me, I'm different a bit from okay, even our family, they start kind of wanting exactly like it was not complete until everybody gathered. But me, personally, I changed. I took a different view on a personal level as a pastor, as my ministry. I think if I want to see people, I'll see them later. But Christmas, I choose to visit, impact someone that will remember I came. Yeah, something like someone who would not expect anybody to come to them. They didn't know what they can do on a Christmas day. They don't have expectation of that chapati or anything to eat. They'll like just appear and just make sure they're happy. And that gives me fulfillment.
There's that part, because you know, most times when we are, you know, in this period where it's just people seem like everyone is just feeling good, we're all making a jolly, you know, it's that season, we tend to forget that it is not the same for everyone. You know, while you're excited, you're going home to see family, there's someone who has no family to go see. There's someone who does not even know where they're going to get the next meal. So when you guys are talking about chapatis and whatever, they don't relate. So we tend to forget that, and it's unfortunate. So it's a good way also of doing it, you know, whereby now you remember the people who may need this kind of love and appreciation the most. The people who tend to not even have people around. There's someone who was saying around this time, they actually go to prisons and they visit those people because there's someone who's in prison, has been there for the last 5-6 years, not a single family member has gone to visit them. So there's that bit too, which is actually a very noble initiative.
But we also have to maintain the tradition, because also home, the village must feel people came. You see? But we have to look at that now. We are changing because of globalization and people are intermarrying. Find that members of family, somebody married in Rwanda, another in Canada, and all that. Also, you can also make a get together maybe through video calls. You create something that is online, and you are like you are together. Because of technologization, we can do something that can be done and just feel like you are just there. Just like, you know, Corona taught us a lot. You can work from home, you can gather from everywhere, from where you sit and you do everything. It reduces a lot. There are people who still work from home even up to now. And they reduce a lot of cost. So you find there's that cost it was very simple. It's just like, just need to have fare and go home. And there was chicken and everything, like, you don't need, but now you say you go home. You want to take your children there, you take them with the house help and you do shopping and you do all that. And also, there's that individualism. People who are just like, just a nuclear family, myself. And the young people, like the Gen Zs, I don't think they just want that taking them there. They would like to explore something new.
I feel like now we are
evolving.
We have the freedom to create new traditions. Like she said, you can visit the sick or the street families, or the children in children's homes. You know, you can create new traditions for Christmas. It doesn't have to be the traditional way that we were raised to, you know, to knowing. You can create your own traditions and have something that is still very beautiful.
So yes, our traditions are slowly fading.
Can I add something?
Yeah.
And this is to parents. I'm that age and others, and maybe beyond me. There are those people that just want your children to be there with you. They are growing, others are getting married. It has become like it is just a command. I want you here. Until when some get married, you want them to come with their husbands to your home. Can you let them be? Because even when someone becomes have their family, they should have their own plans. If they want to come, it is okay, but not be static. It's like, okay, dad wants at home, mom wants at home. And you feel like you don't go, it's like you have sinned. You see. Let there be that liberty. Let people grow, let them have their own lives.
So what you're saying is, let's allow people to also build their own traditions. Say, I've gotten married, I have maybe my small family, so I should create a tradition for this family.
This family.
Like
and
my husband and I.
Feel yourself as a family, feel
Yeah.
yourself. But you just, no, you have to come. When are you arriving? You just like you are controlled. It's a spirit of control.
Side, so you can create your own, to make it neutral,
you have your own
traditions.
Okay, so someone was saying family nowadays is not really much about blood. Family is about emotional connection and the people that feel right for you. So there are those who actually have just formed their own families. Like I can have maybe I have my small family, my husband and one child, and then Nelly has the same, and then you have the same. So this now we come gather as Nelly, but we're not related. Nelly, myself,
we have made
just
a family out of ourselves.
Yes, exactly.
There's that too. Don't you feel it's like it's threatening to that bond of actual blood family? It's still
I don't
just
think
fine?
so.
Let me say this. Okay, sometimes that gathering is good. You find nowadays people don't know their family members, and you find you have an auntie who as a child, and you have never met, and you go and meet in secondary schools. Then you start the blood is also, and then you just come and tell us I have a fiancé. Then the Christmas could have helped. You could have met these people. All this it is important, but it's not about. It doesn't be exactly. No, this season is very expensive. Even when it comes to flights, they go high. Buses they go high. Everything goes high. It is a tradition. It's not just because Jesus was born on that day. It's a tradition globally. People just go home
together with family.
Do you know like in China they close February the whole month. Everybody just goes to the village and they rest and the machines rest. They start resting, but here we don't even go and rest. It's just like you go and you overspend because you want to achieve and you want to make them happy. They called you. Then at the end you find that January is here. School fees. And you are confused. That's why you find January becomes hard. Just about planning. You should do what is doable, because still we can do other things even without connecting physically. But it's still good. You have to go.
I feel like it is also good to go home, take the children home so that they can familiarize with their culture, their people, their culture, so you can learn. Like, this is how we do things. Even the language, maybe they can learn a bit of their mother tongue. You know, we were talking about this the other day. Nowadays, people don't even know how to speak their mother tongue. But if
they don't even know where they come from.
So at least when you make it a culture, going back home, at least your children get to familiarize with their own tribes and their languages.
So what factors do you feel have made it harder for us to be able to have that bonding time as an extended family during the holidays? Of course, we've talked about it's expensive. Sababu saizi ukifikiria kuenda, you think about the cost of transportation. You think about you need to take
expectations when you get home, expectation from many people.
They're like, hey, where you are
You've
from
been in Nairobi the whole
We've been seeing you on TV the whole year. You need to come here with
KBC pays.
Yes, you need to come here with bunda. You know, you come with money. So there's that bit of it's quite expensive. So you'd rather usiende hii time, ungoje January time fulani, you just go visit and then that's it. So there's that. There's also the fact that there's someone who was saying they used to go gather at their grandparents' home. You know, their shosho was alive, their shosho was there. So that's where everyone used to go. Their aunties, their uncles, now all the cousins meet there. They are there. But now after the shosho died, now they don't know who's hosting this gathering. Because now it was kawaida, shosho is hosting us. Now shosho is no longer there. Who is hosting us? So sasa inakuwa kila mtu tu anakaa na familia yake.
There's no one to bring the family together again.
So
unless you have a platform that you prepare and say, now this time you will take lead. This time you will take lead. But me, I would say, like just as we are saying, if you don't go, maybe those people at home, they will feel that vacuum. But you close it with that tradition, they will get used. Then you can also travel another time. Because this season, if you're not careful, you have a problem of finances in
Can really damage you. You need to really prepare.
Like I've seen the whole of last week, jam was like there's migration from Nairobi to the village. Everybody has gone. What kind of jam is this? So it is a tradition which is there. And it gives us joy. You go and feel and you connect. Just make it, it can be static, it can be dynamic. All that is possible. But it is still there.
It is still there. It's not lost.
Very
it's not lost.
It's hard for us to lose.
Just
it
to
is
balance.
very hard.
Just
It is
trying
very
to
hard.
balance.
It is deeply rooted. People really have to go home, be with family, because Christmas is just about family and getting together. So it's not something you can say that it will go away. It is very hard for you to go. Maybe it will change, but it will still be there.
Then I also people that they go and gather as a family. Then after that, they also visit the less privileged. You find that you do it on that place. But also, if we all migrate from Nairobi, those who do not have anything to get, well, we have to balance. Some will go, others will remain, others will do something different. Yes.
So there's this thing called no contacts. I was watching an interview that was done by Oprah just a few weeks ago, and they were talking about people who are opting out of their families or seeing their family members because of their mental health wellness. So there's that bit as well, whereby me, I just decide I don't want to see my mother because she is causing me problems, mental health problems. Maybe she's toxic, or it's your dad, or it's your sister, or it's your brother. So there's that part of people opting out, not because of finances or whatever, just the fact that you feel
that toxic part of it.
I'm gonna get out of there feeling so drained mentally. And there are people who are saying they have not made any contact with maybe their mother for like 3 whole years. So there's that bit that I feel like sometimes we don't get to talk about because we assume it's family, mtaelewana tu. But then there's that bit when it gets extremely toxic.
Let me tell you, however it gets toxic, when it talks with my brother, my sibling, I can withdraw. When it's your mother, you need to look for a way. Because remember, let me tell you, let me tell you a very good example. Let me just take you back to the word of God. Your sibling is your sibling. Okay, we were born from the same mother, but we are sourced from who? From that woman. Try to look for a way to heal her. Because let me tell you, the Bible says, to live long and live well, you honor your father and your mother. You can decide to maybe to take care of her from far, but if you just like you are disconnecting yourself, you are cutting something, a lifeline. It's your source. Where do you come from?
So is it the responsibility of the baby or the mother?
We let our parents sometimes get away with so many things because they're just your parents. Sometimes you can love someone from afar. When the toxicity is at a level that is affecting your mental health, you cannot function. Then you can love someone from afar.
Not to disconnect.
Sometimes you can. I feel like initially I was of the same idea that, hey, but that's your mother. But have you ever talked to someone and they tell you things and you're like, what? That's your mother who did that? Who said that? So you feel like you have no judgment of their decision
there's something to there's something to be judged what they have done. It is okay. Because also, the same Bible says that parents should not also hurt their children. So
but I feel like there's no consequences for parents when they're being toxic. It's always the child. You will get cursed. You will not get blessings. I don't see there's consequence for parents as well. That's why sometimes parents get away with so much toxicity. So I feel like also
when it becomes
sometimes
toxic in any way, let me tell you, if there's something to guard, it's your heart.
Yes.
And what you guard your heart is what you hear. So if you talk to me and you hurt me, I withdraw because I need to guard my heart. If I don't guard, I'll break down. So I will not be able even to solve the problem. So it starts with guarding yourself. But that's why you have to love as you love yourself. Others as you love yourself. You guard yourself.
When you get someone,
you protect what you hear and what you see, so that you can be emotionally very strong.
When you get someone has said they have gotten to that place of no contact, trust me, they have tried. It's been years of pushing, years of trying. But then again, the other party is also not trying. They're not getting, you know, you cannot try alone. When you're having an issue and it's two of you need to try. You know, I need to do I need to act on it, maybe change the way I do things, maybe the way I talk to you. Some parents can be really disrespectful. You can try, you can even black tax as you can be providing for your parents. Maybe you are working in Nairobi, your salary is only 20,000, 25,000. You are sending 5,000, 6,000 every month. I saw a video like a few days ago on social media, and it was a mother sending a voice note to the daughter saying, reverse that 5,000 you've sent me. That is nothing. Don't even. I think you are. That was really bad.
I reverse for all. I will reverse. me personally, I'm someone that when it comes to making decisions, I can close a door. And I have peace.
So now there could be someone who's watching us right now. I'm sure there is someone who's watching us and they're in that situation whereby they really don't have contact with maybe a sibling, mother, father, simply because it really costs their mental wellness. So maybe if you may speak to that person, you know, you in the capacity of being a pastor and a mentor, what would you say to this person? Probably not just them, also the side of the parent. If there's a parent who's also is the toxic one.
Yeah.
Because, you know, unaona hata vile nimekuuliza, you said no, as a child, make sure you make peace, make amends with your parent. But what of the parent
it depends on the level.
Yeah, so if you can speak to both these people, maybe if it's the parent and now the child, what would you say to them to try and make them, you know, come together?
You know, the problem with parents is that sometimes they become very possessive with their children. You possess until you destroy. You love until you break. Maybe there's something they want you to do. Have you seen someone telling you, you need to come here and farm? There's a lot of land here, you are not coming to farm. And it becomes an issue. And you're not interested in farming. You see? And they push you into things that you don't want. I just want to say, as I said, don't push people to like they are children. Let there be that communication. Then honor. When you at 18, the government says you have an ID, you are a grown-up. Let there be communication, not like putting pressure. And also the way you communicate to someone. You know, words are instruments of creation. And what you say, it has an impact. So sometimes when our parents speak negative things and you find that the child has not done anything, that impact will not be there. And also children. Also, sometimes you look at exactly what does that person want. If they are pushing to what is not possible, you just tell them the truth. This is not possible. You're not going to work like this. So that there can be that mutual. Everybody has freedom. You're in a free country. Let me tell you, nowadays, there are people living like in a prison because of the kind of family they are in. And you don't make decisions, and you are just like, you start doing something, someone just comes and stops it and destroys it. It hurts you, all that. Everybody has to take their position, and there be space. Give people space. Yes, that space. Yeah. Protect, guard what someone feels. Don't just do things because you gave birth to them, you educated them. It is your duty. Yeah, you cannot tell me that. Like some people, when you get married, they say that I paid a lot of money to educate Nelly. She's your daughter. So you do to educate her, so that she can be able to connect to the level that she is. Yes, so you just do your part, and let's give each other space.
So on the same, I feel like sometimes space is needed when it comes to family. I have seen it work for me. Sometimes when you're not in a place of understanding each other for quite some time, instead of like insulting each other or making things escalate to a very bad place, it's good to just drift away and give each other space. And when time is right and you guys reconnect again, there is so much respect because now the other person knows that if I cross this boundary, then this person will not speak to me. Like it has worked for me. And I feel like as family, we need to learn like boundaries. We need to know like this is an adult, even between like siblings. Like because maybe as you guys were growing up, I was I'm older than you. I feel like I can walk all over you, but now we are all adults. I have my own
family.
I have my own family. I can make my own decisions. I can do my life the way I choose to be. So the other person still feels like they can walk all over you. They can speak to you in any kind of manner. I usually feel it's not good. So I feel like when it comes to family and people are crossing your boundaries, give them space first, then try and reunite. Yes. Yeah. There must be respect within family. Even if you're a parent, even if you're an elder sister, just respect each other.
Let me add something to what she said. I've seen some parents, you'll find that your children have grown, they have wives, they have children. But you just think like you should command. Even what they have, it's like you are part of it. Let me tell you, according to me, if you get married, your mother-in-law should know that even the sufurias that belong to you, she should ask for them. That space, boundaries, so that you may know. If there's a chicken, they just go and pick it and cook. It belongs to who? You ask someone and stop their growth. You can stop someone's growth. And when they stop, they could have grown. Because if it's there and everybody will take it and eat, why should I continue buying? You stop. Then someone could have been grown to make it an industry, and you stop it. So that space, as we have said, even for what we own, when you grow up, parents let them know that our children are become big. When someone gets married, automatically that's a family. Let them be. Let them be. Let them run their family, respect them, visit them, or meet in any way. Either you agree or don't agree, but don't interfere with their affairs.
Mutual
and I tell you
respect.
that there'll be peace. Now, most of the things that you are saying that people are not talking and all that, you find you are trying to poke into their families. You have to come and control.
Okay, so for those who are watching and they may be in that situation, I think also trying to get a third party involved would help. You know, maybe if it's you and your mother who are not in good terms, you can try find someone else who can come, just get to listen to the two of you, just to make peace. Because I mean, it would be nice if you were okay with, you know, with
as a family.
As a family, you know, especially during this time, I'm sure it can really like feel like it's poking you because you're hearing everyone else saying, "Oh, I have to go see my mom," and you know you're not in good terms with your mom.
You remember what I was talking about, silent treatment?
Yeah.
It is very toxic. Sometimes keeping quiet is bad than even speaking. And you find that maybe there's a room for negotiation, but because you feel like, I don't want to speak and hurt, I want to speak and be hurt. So as you said, maybe should get away.
All right. Would you say one's background kind of influences how they treat family gatherings and holidays? Does your background, you know, influence that?
Of course it does. Like as I was saying, personally for me, it was a tradition in our family. So for me, I will feel like it is something, because it worked for me as a family, it's something that I enjoyed and I love. So I would want to pass it down to my children as well. But then again, maybe if it wasn't something you guys used to do as a family, then it will be really hard for you to see the importance. Or maybe you will now, where you're married, now your new family, you will see it and you will love it because you never experienced it. So there are so many ways of looking at it. So it does, your background really matters on how you will take the tradition.
So there's a diversity in when people get married. Maybe you get married to a different country or different cultures. You may find even a different culture in the country, but very diverse. So when you get there, you have to change and maybe bond with them. And also, as we have said, let's allow, as you are saying, when you saw it was good and you are raising children, they don't like it. Let people have their life. Let people enjoy. Because let me tell you, the most important thing in someone's life is fulfillment and peace. What gives you peace? Because even if you push me to go somewhere, and I know even going there, I'm not going to enjoy whatever will happen there. I'll better sleep.
You can create new traditions.
I actually had a question on is it more about convenience or connection? Because I feel like it should be more of it's the connection. You want to go because of the connection, not because okay, it's convenient to me to go because, well, everyone is going. Oh well, I'm expected to go. You know, so it needs to be meaningful. Even when you go and meet as a family, sio mko huko, but you're not even interacting with each other. Kila mtu yuko kwa simu yake, huyu ako kule. You have a big home, maybe this one is in the bedroom.
Like people went to see their grandmother. They were like 8 of them. And she was just like there. And everybody was on phone. And I tell you, they were lost in those phones.
So the grandma is just there.
Why did you come?
You should have called her. Because you are there, but everyone is in a different place.
There's that bit too, which is also something we should maybe touch on. Like when you are having these gatherings, when you're meeting, connect. You know, connect.
You need to put up a
I feel like back in the day, we used to connect because there were no mobile phones. We used to do storytelling, and you know, nowadays maybe things will be different. But either way,
the connection is really, really important. I know now with the phones and technology, maybe your attention is drawn, is not, you know, you're getting distractions from a lot of things.
Technology.
But I mean, when you go home,
TikTok, it pulls you out of a meeting, and you forget.
If you want to use that TikTok, then involve the family. Do the TikTok as a family. Like, make it fun. Then, if you want
you know, even now, leave alone on a gathering like that. Even now, just go and look at families on a dining table. People will forget
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and everybody goes off.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's no communication. You know, eating together is meant to cause people to communicate.
Bond, yeah.
And every
Bonding.
communication over a table of eating, it brings bond. But you find that you are eating and you forgot even the spoon. You may even put it here because
of the phone.
Yeah, your mind is not there at all. Yeah, so
Yes.
that connection is really important.
Yeah,
when we
it
go
is.
there, when you're meeting and gathering,
Yes.
let's make it worthwhile.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know, get to speak to the other person, get to know how
Get
they are
to know
doing. Maybe
your
someone is even
family.
struggling with one thing or the other, and you know they maybe actually came home because they wanted to feel that warmth, to feel
Yeah.
that love. But then when they're there, they don't even feel like there is that too. So I feel let's be able to interact,
Yeah.
connect. I think there are many ways of doing it. When you're cooking together, that's a way of bonding. You know, just sitting down and sharing a meal, all of you, it's a way of bonding. You can introduce games,
Yeah.
you know, and play
just like
together.
the way we do team building.
together. Yeah, bonding.
Yeah, you find it's meant to bond you because sometimes there are a lot of toxic issues in the families. So you find that if you make sure that when you come, you not engage on the toxic issues.
Yeah.
Let us just be general. But if someone is going through something and they could like to maybe share it, when they have been toxic with that, you can't even share it. You don't even trust them.
Yeah.
And also nowadays, you never know. You may find it's a sibling and they're against you.
Yeah.
You need to be careful.
Yeah.
So sometimes you have to know exactly what you are doing. But if there are those meetings people are going and to gather, make sure whatever was not settled long time, it is going to add someone, don't discuss around
Don't
that
bring
time.
it up.
Yeah.
don't
So
bring
that
it
time will be a time of joy.
Yeah.
Just eat and make fun of the kachumbari and all that, what is happening. The meat is burnt, all that. You just laugh.
Yeah.
But otherwise you start to check who did what and failed in this place, and you start telling them in front of everyone.
Yeah.
Then they rise up
Yeah,
and
these
everybody takes a
sisters who
car,
are
they
not
drive away.
talking.
So it becomes worse than having come.
Yeah.
Which would be really, really bad.
Really bad. Even the children will not even enjoy.
Yeah.
They will not even want it.
Yeah.
The Christmas holidays like that.
Yeah. But I think I love how we are taking things now. I don't know by we if I'm just talking about myself, but in the sense of, you know, back in the day, maybe your mother and one of the siblings hawaelewani, wamekosana, so they are not talking. So it was like kind of like automatic that now even you as cousins, since your mothers are not in good time,
You also stop
it's like,
talking.
Pia nyinyi pia hamuongeleshani. Unashindwa sasa sisi tulikosana lini?
Inheriting grudges.
Makosa yenyu mbona inatuhusu, you know, inheriting grudges.
I know.
And what I'm saying now, I think we're doing it right. I feel like we are not doing that.
Yeah.
We are not inheriting grudges. And I feel even the Gen Zs are even better at
Yeah.
it. Because nyinyi mambo yenyu ni yenyu. Mimi
Msinihusishe.
mimi
Yeah.
msinihusishe. You know, my cousin is my cousin. If you guys are beefing, you have your
Us
beef.
will still be
Sisi
friends.
tuko tu sawa.
Leave us alone.
Hakuna ati sijui uwezi enda kwa kina. Mi naenda kuona aunti yangu, naenda kuona cousin yangu. Mi aunti yangu hajanikosea, nyinyi ndo mmekosana. So I feel like that's also something that is changing, and it's for the better, kwa sababu there's no need of inheriting
You know, one thing
grudges.
people don't know is that conflict is just like part of everyday life. We can't always be like on a straight line.
Yeah.
Sometimes mnaweza kwazana hapa na pale. It's normal. So I don't really, like you were saying, it's really so unfair to the cousins when now they can't speak because the auntie and your mother are beefing. Now you're part of it. You're inheriting beef and grudges that have nothing to do with you. Huyo alisema uko na kichwa kubwa, I don't know. Now you can't go to your cousin's place. You can't enjoy their company. It's really unfortunate, but I feel like that thing is, as you said, it's not only you. I feel like it's slowly going away.
It's going away.
Yeah, we are
No, when they
smarter
say
now.
no,
Yeah.
when the people who are supposed to inherit it, when they say no,
Yeah,
it
it's
could
like
be
that.
done.
Yeah, because back in the day it was like whatever is your mother says or your father says is the
It
gospel
goes.
truth.
Yeah.
You can't question it.
But now
so
we
when
question.
they say this, I'm not saying that you become defiant,
Yeah.
but let there be room to just question.
Yeah.
Why can't I speak to them?
Yes,
Mimi
because I
hawajanikosea.
have no problem with them.
Yeah.
Maybe sometimes they feel like if I have problem with you and you are my sister, maybe I will feel like my children are not safe around.
Yeah, there's also
but
that
let me
aspect.
tell you, it is not true. This is not true.
Oh, if it comes to the point where you feel they're not safe, then that is really
nowadays,
dangerous.
you never know what happens. Yeah,
Okay.
nowadays things are different.
Even with family, things can be otherwise.
Yeah. Anyway, okay. So now we still have some time. So when we talk about traditions now, and maybe there's someone who's thinking around, I don't have a family tradition, or we don't have a family tradition, and they want to now start building it. Maybe how do we go about now building traditions for those who now want to build a family tradition? I've just started
their
my
own
family.
design.
Yes,
Their own
I've just
design.
started my family. I just got married. I just have a kid now. Now I want to navigate and know I am the one who's in charge of this child's memories. You know, there's something like you're in charge of this baby's childhood memories.
What
so
they
you
will
want to
remember.
build a tradition around, especially this time, because I feel like everyone has something they remember around this period of time that they do or they did. So for someone who wants to build that tradition, let me begin with you. How do you go about starting to build it?
You can create something different, and maybe instead of going to the tradition, or you choose it, maybe they have never. Okay, when you are saying something, you're building something, you are cutting from the hold, okay? Because you have been in a tradition. Maybe you come and make a decision that in my family, around this season, we'll be going to Mombasa. We'll be going to Zanzibar, me and my husband and my child. And you make it like a tradition. So you prepare, you save for it, and you take your flights and you go and enjoy. You make it static as your own. You see? So this child will have memories. We always go to Zanzibar, we go to Mombasa, we go to wherever. It's just like you remember waters and all those things and swimming. It will become a tradition to them. Okay? Yeah, that's one. Then you can also choose. Maybe you want to choose to, like, let me just mention that hospital, because that place is usually forgotten. Many people don't know about it. That hospital is called Nairobi Spinal Injury Hospital, where people, when they get injured and the injury is like permanent, they are taken. Then someone will tell you, I went to see them. I just woke up one day. No injury, nothing. I did not fall down. I never stood up again. I have to be able to go to the toilet. They have bed sores, they are being helped, but they even receive on riches because they cannot go out, others because they are already soiled. Those kind of people, find someone tells you, I was a police officer, I just fell down, I just had an accident, I was out on my back, and that is the end. That person is ever on bed. I was there on a Christmas day. Only one family was visited. So like people forget those people. It's like you got tired with them. But that's something, everybody can find themselves in such a place. So such a place and others, you can choose. I would like to touch a life. You see, I want to touch a life. There's someone in prison. They regret what they did. They want someone to show them love. No, mental health is not about atiwazimu. Everybody can be going through mental health. Even the rich and the stable. There's something that bothers them. They need someone to tell them, that's what Obama did. Yes, we can. That emotional, it is possible. You can come out of this. Whatever you are going through, you usually say that when your spirit is strong, the body will submit. However sick you may be, if your spirit sees the future, you will make it.
All right, okay. I'm being told time is
I can
up.
see.
So let's finish with, if you could design an ideal family gathering, what would that look like?
For me, my ideal family gathering will be at home, at my mom's place in Eldoret. Lots of food, nyama choma, chapati, of course. So all my cousins, my aunties will be around. Just kupiga story, kukula, just being together. Eating.
Adding 5 kgs before you come back.
He's number one on the list.
No wonder January, the gym business is usually, booming, because now everyone is just trying to get back in shape.
Eating is the project.
Yeah, but your final remarks?
For me, I will say you don't have to really go out of your way. You can create your own new traditions if you're not able maybe to go back home because of finances or any other factors, because nowadays even people work during that Christmas period. So don't be afraid to create new traditions with your families.
To me, I'll say that for those who have beefs and issues that are causing them a lot of pain, just look for a way to solve those issues. And there is a solution. There could be a solution. Just go and hit chapati. Make sure there's chapati.
Yes.
The original tradition.
Yes. All right, and this is where we get to cap this conversation. Thank you so much, Pearl. Thank you so much, Nelly, for joining us for the conversation. For those of you who have been watching us from home, thank you so much for staying tuned. And I want to wish you happy holidays. Hatujafunga bado, kesho will be here as Good Morning Kenya na kesho kutwa, but allow me to extend my holiday greetings to you. So happy holidays. Make sure that you just engage with the people that you love. Connect with the people that you love. We spend a lot of time working and our minds being buried in different things from January. So this is the time where you just at least give yourself some time to connect with the people that you love so that your heart feels better. This is where we end it. My name is Vivian Dagwa. See you tomorrow, same time, and please, God willing, goodbye.
Got the fear of missing out? Want to keep up with all the latest entertainment news and latest celebrity gossip? From the latest rumors to popping events to the newest fashion trends, here is where you get all the tea or juice when it comes to entertainment, and you get it served on time. All that and so much more on Grapevine every single Monday only on KBC Channel 1. Remember, if you did not see it on Grapevine, then it most probably never happened.
Greetings in the name of the Most High Jah Rastafari. My good name is Marley Moses, the positive warrior, alongside...
Yes, sir, DJ D-Rage, the baddest. Each and every Wednesday from 10 p.m. on KBC Channel 1 TV.
Tunakuletea the biggest reggae party in 254 in a yard extra. Extra niceness of reggae music.
Extra dose of entertainment.
When the thing is nice, we
have to do it twice.
The welcoming ceremony, which has remained virtually unchanged since time immemorial. A feat that befits our sporting heroes whenever they touch down on home soil, like in 1990 when the team of, among others, George Foreman Onyango were treated after a triumphant outing in the Commonwealth Games.
Mchezo ulikuwa mzuri, watu walikuwa wengi sana, lakini watu walifanya bidii mpaka wakafaulu.
Defeating his opponent was no mean achievement as he bagged Kenya's second gold medal in the boxing contest, considering the bias that the Africans have faced whenever they took to the ring.
By then nilikuwa ni mimi ni hard hitter. Na ilinisaidia sana hata tukicheza Commonwealth Games ile nilienda Australia huko Auckland. So unapata nilicheza hata na huyo Mganda wa kwanza, alikuwa amenidharau juu yeye alikuwa super heavy na sasa amekuja heavy. Yeye hata nilimpiga knockout first round. Sasa kuendelea tukacheza na Msamoa nikamshinda on point. Alikuwa mvumilivu sana. Ya tatu semi-finals nikakutana na Mkamerun nikamshinda. So kwa point tu pia bado. Then final nilipokutana na Canada ilikuwa rahisi sana. Nilimshinda juu sababu walikuwa wananiogopa, wanaona huyu jamaa ukikaa karibu